Panas gini early-nya. Aduh. Duh.
Anti heal pakai item.
Respect itu cuy. Respect Warwick.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang
baru
orang-orang
mulai.
kafir.
Anjing, kena. Anjing! Hah, gak ada flash.
Welcome semuanya
Belum.
guys.
Oke, aman aja.
Oke,
Lu
gimana
menit
kabarnya
keberapa,
Jitu? Udah mau kalah?
Menang cuy. Menit keberapa lo?
Gua 627.
Sama-sama. Biasa, Kuro fans Hanwalap, jir. Oh no. Mon. Ditinggal jir sama support gua.
Siang cuy. Baru live sekarang. Iya, tadi agak kurang seru yang tadi pasti. Pembantaian anjir.
Iya,
Ini juga pembantaian sih, cuman seenggaknya oke lah buat ditonton. Jitu mau dibikin berapa ini kayak deh?
3-1 Hanwalap pulang.
Oh iya, gue belum makan anjir.
Hansama versus Deus. Mahal. Lihat refleksnya. Jangan samakan refleks Hansama sama Joki Love ya guys ya. APC Sera, yoi. Clean sweep ini Jitu pulang cuci kaki. Tikannya keren banget, bro. Warwick. Nice. Awas ada TP, Hansama ultinya miss, jer. Oh lama. Ashibal.
Mana mas?
Jujur janggal.
Mas? Mana mas?
Oke, let's go guys.
Jujur ada yang
Loh,
janggal.
kok Vtuber gue kecil banget anjir? Dah. Makan ya guys, saya belum cuci tangan nih.
Broken bed.
Suara kur, ada suara. Oh, suara in game-nya. Sorry, tadi ambil makan coy.
Belum cuy. Tunggu late game. Enggak sih, ada Yone, monyong. Late game ada Yone, cok.
Trap here, LeBron dropping the vision down to light. Chips in the night. passing by as Kanavi continues to clear.
Makan apa Kur jam segini?
Slightly ahead of Skewmon, but both junglers with the Sundered Sky completed.
Makan
However,
Pak Gembus.
as much as I'd like to be optimistic about Warwick's ability to come back at low HP, and it's certainly very powerful, it is a little unnerving that he's constantly below 50%.
That's why very few people, play this champion top. You have
Wih,
to be
udah 1-0 tuh Zeus.
in that low health. You have to be comfortable.
Jujur yang itu gak bisa lawan gua. Tapi
Apa,
tunggu
enggak?
10 menit lagi, Bang.
It's not a natural
Broken Blade nggak bisa lawan.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with what I'll say. I'm glad Broken Blade seems to be. As now he's got a Kraken Slayer.
You have to be
Memaki-maki
okay with
gitu,
death.
Jir.
Yeah. Well, no death thus far. Although
Rasa sayurnya
LeBron just
pahit
standing on
dia,
top of the
anjing.
blast cone here, trying to take Kanavi out, but a quick vault breaker away.
I love it. Drop all
Boots
the work
kepanasan
already.
gak di Prancis Kur?
They just
Belum
walk
terbang
out.
kan cuy?
Walk off it anyway.
He's still fine. He still has, Q.
Meleleh.
As at this point, there was a glimmer of G2 early game looking dominant here, but HLE just responded
Langsung
much
aja,
better.
langsung aja,
The one in trouble.
langsung aja. Eps, run prison, das. Mau kemana kamu?
Gila, kenapa gitu banget cuy?
Play, recognize there's no way for Delight to escape, so they just concede the kill onto the support.
Weh kaget ini HLE cuy, rasa T1 gini.
That money too, right into
Yoi.
caps. The Rise here has so much potential in this game with the roaming power.
Kordonet sejauh ini menang Hanwha Live. Shit,
Your caster
I mean,
cursing.
you-
Your
you-
caster cursing. I know I did the one.
kamu
to
harus
TN, but
meningkatkan
come on.
permainanmu,
really
Bang Rex.
powerful.
Jujur,
HLE
jujur.
don't need it. And I agree with
Pit,
you.
kalau si PES dia emang mainnya
That
jagonya
trade is
APC
why
Pit.
you have to get a little
Apa
bit
enggak?
scared when
Juga.
one, Zeka is playing the
Dia
Yone, and two, when
spesialis
Yone is
apapun
ever
heronya
ahead
flash
by
depan
any
gitu.
margin.
We gotta put our
Flash depan itu apa tuh?
Ya, apapun heronya flashnya ke depan maju mati.
5-game series.
Oh.
HLE though, they're gonna keep on
Antara
stacking
musuhnya
it.
ikut mati atau
And
dia
it's looking
doang
very
yang
good,
mati.
aside from the very first skirmish on top.
Tapi kemarin gue liat postingan dia yang GPM-nya paling tinggi aja.
Thrive in this
Ya,
pace. So
justru
both
karena
Dragon
playstyle kayak
and the
gitu,
gold lead
makanya damage-nya
also
pasti gede.
resulting in more jungle camps being stolen away here. Kanavi continues to lead the charge
Match ini
into the
jika
Kirain
dijelaskan
udah,
secara
Jir, kan belum
kata-kata,
mulai ya
yang
WC-nya.
bisa CC duluan yang menang.
1 and 2 on the Vi.
Enggak cuy,
Kanavi.
Kumon akan menyodok Kanavi. Kanavi
The
dead.
vault breaker going wide. Did not miss a beat though.
Kumon
Did
akan
not
les
suddenly
Kumon.
play back. Did not play any less aggressive.
Yeah.
Immediately just continued looking for those plays as Lebrov supporting Broken Blade to
Mahal
get
gini,
some more
anjir.
gold in his back
Langsung
pocket.
bacok-bacok,
Capture as well, maybe hoping they can bait a play. 4 members of G2 overloading the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean they're just gonna send.
Lah, di like dia pakai Kamil.
Now looking for a lockup in the meantime, taking out Delight.
Segini doang di light-nya. Lah, ulti apa itu JK? Ya ampun JK.
Mati
JK.
dong.
HLE. Solo laner's doing a lot of work, but Zayas maybe over eager. Broken Blade with a
Gak pakai
blinking
kerupuk,
health
Kur.
bar.
Lagi tidak.
Supposedly that's his comfort zone. Sama, I don't think so
Oh
though.
my god. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
god,
not
oh
a
my god,
Seraphine
oh my
comfort
god.
zone.
Enggak kena anjir.
Oh my god, oh my
Ah,
god,
masih
oh
ada
my
ulti.
god. Oh my god.
Looking for a bit more follow-up. Zeka needs to stack for the Q3. A few more seconds before he's forced to snap back on the soul unbound. And HLE in the extended fight still able to find an edge.
They find that edge and they use it to cut down G2. More kills, more
Di
gold.
like ini gimana dia Pit? Jago juga Pit apa enggak?
You see that huge
Di support
combination
ya HLE ini.
from Guma as he joined.
lumayan.
Giant burst
Top
damage.
3 lah,
Zayas
biasa.
really wanted to finish
Dia
that kill.
terkenalnya main
He
hakan.
barely was not able to get in
Ah.
range to finish off the Warwick, but the double ultimate from the Ambess and the Warwick at the very
Waktu
same
masih
time
di
there,
Genji tuh.
it caused Broken Blade to go all the way through, and they still killed the light, but with the nicely timed immunity there from Zeka, they are actually able to buy time for the Ziggs to get there. Large AoE used, and
Enggak cuy,
Broken
war
Blade does
terus
flash
kita,
out, but as
war
you know, the
terus.
end of that story, there's more people on the way. Look at Kanavi running up the river. He uses his flash to get in range as well for the extra kill,
There's more fighting.
as there should be.
Foolish of us to go
As
into a
there's-
replay.
Tuhan sama, jangan dikasih champion yang harus aiming sih jujur.
Itemized a bit of armor, no other defensive stats, and you can see just stepping in to that minefield, just the edge of Guma's ulti takes out about 60% of his HP, and that's
Yeah.
1.5 items on this Ziggs. It's only getting scarier the further we go in, but Broken Blade still hoping to force the 1v1. Needs
Baby
Anjir,
God,
masih
and
di la-
you
Wih,
tonight, I'm such a
Said to play Warwick, do a
satellite,
lot of work,
just
but
like
Zayas might win the
animal,
1v1. 40 to get
animal.
set.
Beneran animal, anjing.
Nice job,
Fuck.
but they set their sights perhaps onto the tier 1 tower.
Well,
Berani juga
you
dia.
already know the fans are going to be
Beneran
calling to
anjing.
put Warwick back on the shelf for another year, Dracos.
Kayaknya itu emang nggak bisa menang dah.
I like it. It's exciting every time we see it.
For the wrong reasons, Kobe. You're excited for the wrong reasons. Zeka also taking top side. And again, HLE, one tiny misplay.
Killnya masuk semua. Dan itu masih nggak bisa nge-kill, Jir.
They've been trading up in each and every skirmish. Now a 3,000 gold lead. Now
Si Jace ada ini juga sih, grabs of
as well
Undying.
as Zeka just continues to take his time in the top lane, knowing no one can stop him from taking his tower out.
Yeah, it definitely gets
Dia ada
super
grabs of
scary. Like
Undying,
you
ada
saw the solo
Eclipse,
lanes for HLE.
ada anti-magic, sama anti-heal.
Always going to be worrisome.
Waryuki ini anjir mainnya Warwick doang.
Guma on this Ziggs is destroying everything he sees, and he can just delete towers as well for HLE. So Guma
Ada siapa yang nggak aiming-aiming? Si Pir,
have that priority
Miss
in mid
Fortune.
lane, and he can just lob bombs over to either of his solo laners that decide, hey, we're going to get into another scrap now.
Kalau G2 kalah pasti salahin Sarapin ada C-nya.
Objektifnya
Kenapa?
sekarang sih minimal
Win 1v1s, but then they can
top
also
lane,
have so
2
many
kill dah.
other things from their teams to assist in those.
And as we take a look at the coin-based gold grind, you can see that as good as it started in the lane, Guma's just been hoovering up money, breaking plates, getting just
2000
I mean,
cuy.
he's just a rich boy, and it's perfect. As you highlighted, your individual solo laners already have these small leads for themselves, already outplaying the 1v1, but when you can add an extra, I don't know, 600 damage on top of what was already a slightly favorable trade, it just doesn't feel like there's a counterplay for G2.
Plus, he's also a very wise boy. You see the experience difference between him
That's true.
and the
Daejeon
Seraphine.
is orange
Because
today.
money does not
Apa
buy
tuh
you
maksudnya?
Warwick kesenangan dirodok sama Mas
but,
Pembajus.
I guess
But it'll buy you more bombs to blow up your opponent.
Daejeon itu bukan stats ya.
Lihat Zeus ini pulang cuy.
Oh, Hansama. By the time you tick over to level 12, you'll understand. Maybe you'll
Warwick
be
pakai
able to
Kraken ada kurang nggak
but
sih?
not quite yet.
Kau tidak mengerti. Kalau soal build Broken Blade
Yeah, Guma getting a
rajanya,
lot more freedom than you would expect from a Ziggs. He's wandering very far forward, but
kita percaya aja sama
more
prosesnya,
time, they're
Cok.
kind of forced to respond to these side waves that they can't immediately punish him. Not
MSI
confident
kira-kira
where the
Korea
line is, just makes it
lagi
really
kah
hard for
Korea
them to
menang?
pull the trigger.
Yeah,
Ya,
and
Korea
we knew
Cina
from
lah
the
cuy.
beginning, this is gonna be a bloody and scrappy game.
Cina udah pulang
G2
satu
trying to play
sih.
into this plan. They're gonna go for the fight.
Instantaneous TP, Herald summon just in case they want an escape route. That's ulti going in from Delight. Nice knockback from Skewmon to
Siapa yang udah pulang?
next tech ultimatum.
Tes.
Top sport.
G2 though,
Oh yang barusan.
the Drake is up and they
Yeah.
can't approach. Important to highlight. They could try to
Dia lawan
walk
siapa?
into the pit, but there's already a Herald charge.
Apa?
And to walk through the
Anjing.
choke
Lawan TSW ya?
Iya, kur, iya.
Bentar, perasaan tes top 2 ya?
And G2 do not
Iya ya.
accept that sentence
Itu
just quite
cupu,
yet.
cuy.
So, they
Curang
will
mereka.
bide their time and
Kenapa
look
ya?
for a better opportunity. They want this
Aslinya mah
team
cupu.
combination. You know, they have the team fighting of the Nautilus and the Seraphine. And hopefully
Menit 18 udah soul point.
with the Rylai's done, they can
Keren.
help out with the CC. They really want to be able to control the melee carries that are on HLE. The problem is,
Kena
it's gonna
mental
come from
sama
all
pick
different
set Bang
angles.
Goro.
You know, and
Siapa yang
the
pick set?
guaranteed engages from Delight and
Top lane-nya
Konami
Secret
are
One.
going to be really difficult to deal with. So the setup is there.
Topnya si top sport ini kalah ini.
Enggak
Champion
nyampe
poolnya banyak
anjir.
banget.
Wall dive not connecting.
Si
Itu nggak
Zeko
nyampe
bisa
kan? Bukan ke
dibunuh.
cancel kan?
Response from Guma is to take half those health
Yang
bars
bisa
from EGP
dibunuh cuma
coming in from
kamu
Zeka, but
doang.
he's exhausted. Follow-up CC now going to Kanavi right.
Lihat, lihat. Awas Zeus, anjir. Zeus ultimati semua, Cok. Lari, Cok. Mencar. Anjing.
See, Warwick is exciting. He snipes him. Warwick ultimate hit.
Kena.
Fuck.
Oh tapi ada APC juga dapat.
But top jungle from HLE is tearing through the fight. Skewmon blinking
Ngeri
out
banget ini yang
far.
bisa ya.
Broken Blade a little bit extra sustain coming in, the eternal hunger stacking him up, but a little bit of burst from Zaya should just finish the job. He's too far behind to pull ahead in the 2v1.
Zayas able to clean up. He makes the big play after big play after big play. Zayas on a fed Ambessa, Dracos. Nightmares for everyone. All right, let's take a look at it though, because G2, they make the call. Look at Broken Blade up in the top left. He snipes the Camille while they're making a simultaneous play mid, trying to get Guma, and barely the Seraphine ultimate did not connect off of the combination with Lebrov. Regardless, G2 with the proactive approach.
Meanwhile, topside 1v1. We're not going to finish the replay today, Kobe. That's not allowed. What's weird is this is below HLE's average CKPM. This is a slow game for them, and it feels like they're just fighting all the time. G2 trying to get what vision they can around the pit. Nice blast cone.
Pas banget timingnya aja, jadi nggak balik, Jok.
And we've seen in the last few fights, these combos with the Seraphine have not worked out. And they're still able to finish Guma in that fight later on with Broken Blade, but definitely a little bit rough when that Ziggs gets to live and go through another 2 or 3 cooldown rotations. It doesn't feel like that is a recipe for a winning fight.
You could regale me with stories of
Mantap
how
gini
any
HLE. Ya
individual
iyalah
member
anjir.
on HLE right now is terrifying you.
LCK nomor 1, jir.
I'm scared of all of them.
I mean-
Delight is 1, 4, and 3, and I'm terrified of Delight as it looks like Zay.
Kena stun. Ya gimana ya?
I mean, it's
Oh itu bait cuy.
Baru deh.
Itu bait cuy.
overload. We're gonna try
Kok nggak dilanjutin?
onto Zeus. They do get that. They shut down Zeus.
Oh lanjut.
It is at the cost of the Baron, though.
And we were talking behind the scenes about Baron has a lot less value these days. I still think that probably is not the best trade.
So if you think you're already just not going to get any good trades anyway, and your bar
Itu Werewolf Baron kah?
is like, man,
Iya.
I'm going to lose out on whatever trade I make, then you're like, you know what? Maybe a Zeus and a tower.
Yang bisa dibunuh sama Block and Blade.
and just kind of lose
MM-nya supportnya.
somewhere else anyway. And so I think that is the call. They're like, you know what? We're not going to be capable of fighting evenly, so we're going to have to take a losing trade on the other side and then weather the storm of the Baron. The only problem is that
Selagi turret masih ada, masih bisa kalah cuy.
1 minute on Mountain Soul, Dracos. That is incredibly
yeah.
powerful for all-ins. These teams that are looking for all-ins, if you have that big extra shield here,
Also, there's a
Selagi G2 masih bertahan dan berusaha, G2 masih bisa kalah cuy.
that turret just to
Masih
oblivion.
bisa menang dong
It's really
harusnya.
hard to weather the storm against the Ziggs plus dive composition. So G2 again, you can understand why they feel like they have to go for that trade, but weathering the storm, surviving against
Ya,
what
itu
feels
Ziggs
like
bikin
an
Abaddon sih.
inevitable Mountain Soul and a Baron empowered Ziggs is a tall
Tapi nggak tahu
task.
all you
biasanya
can
apa.
do is get there first and hope. You get there first, you try and use vision advantage to outplay in a team fight. Maybe then you can get some good positioning. Maybe you can get a nice Seraphine ulti.
Ngapain
And
harus
they
pakai
did
biduan
try
zaun?
and get their vision
Ini
first,
meta
but
ranked,
they have to
cuy.
give up the space as HLE move in with
Trust me guys, we saw this on TikTok. We know what we're doing.
Hoping to catch out Kanavi.
Aku sudah melihatnya di TikTok. This is work.
That CC train going. You in for a Broken Blade, hoping to pick off the light. Kumiyushi isolated off to the side.
Lihat. Lihat ultinya. Awas
Udah sendirian di situ ya?
Jus. Lari jus, Cok. Jus.
Langsung saja serapin.
Looking to deny the soul.
They do it! Zeus now running for his life, and he can't run it off!
Jus. Go
Waduh.
home. Jus.
Just
Just gonna go home.
Push mid. It's scrappy. It's messy. But it's G2 who take the exchange.
They have to fight their way out. That's the only option for G2, so they send it on mid lane.
Bang, udah
They
nggak
go
tahu
for
dong,
the
Bang. Saya
bottom
nonton
lane of
lagi.
HLE. Broken
Sobat,
Blade
Sobat,
simultaneously engages onto light. Wow, look at LeBron with the flash, with the hook, with the ulti, 100% to 0. It's James over the wall, and then G2 finish up the team fight here. HLE, they try and pull it back. They make you second guess. They're like, is Zeus really going to blend all of us up? Not this time around.
Not this time. The fear, the root, the instantaneous
Gila, itu nggak bisa main
CC.
Kamil,
G2 with the
guys.
man
Gua kasih
advantage.
tahu.
Finding
Cuma
yet another
Keria yang
kill
bisa.
onto Zeus. And now that trade deal from earlier.
Dia dituntut sama Gumayusi. Lu harus bisa jadi Keria.
The biggest thorn in their side.
HLE
is
menang
going to
lawan
be
T1
the
pakai Kamil.
inevitable dragon contest from
Anjir.
here.
Itu fluke doang itu,
Zeka
fluke.
is really scary.
Also, look at how much gold they got off of that. You know, you slingshot in this game now. with
Dipaksa sama
lots of
Guma kayak
shutdowns
guys.
and
Kamu harus
extra
jadi
kills,
Keria di
so
right.
not only did you
I cannot carry,
accomplish
kata
the
Guma.
#1 priority, which is
You
of
can do
course
this.
deny Dragon Soul,
Remember, you are
but
Keria.
also getting yourself
Trust me.
into
Trust me,
fighting
bro.
shape now that you
I believe
also
in you.
have the team fight power of this Seraphine. That could be the
You can do
difference in
this.
some of these scraps. Getting kills really helps even out some
Lu
of the
dukung yang mana?
Kor dulu gak sih Kur main Kamil?
Gue dukung G2 sih cuy. Cuman kayaknya HLE yang menang ya.
They can keep being the ones to pull the trigger. You see how good
Realistis buat ya.
but if they fall behind in the fight, they don't get to choose their
Secara
priority targets. They don't get to stack their
lebih
points
realistis
quickly. And
gitu
most
menang sih.
importantly, when
Honestly,
Guma's out of the equation, so
udah
much
jujur
of the
banget
follow-up damage just isn't there.
Lebih realistis di Indonesia turun salju aja.
And you know, LeBron and Broken Blade have been the
Jujur,
ones punching
jujur
through.
banget ini.
That is the
Udah
moral
dengan
story.
penuh kejujuran.
If you think they might fight
Bisa
you, just hit
TO
them
kan
right in the face, hit them
Mau
fast.
di TO gua anjir.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's gonna get
Gue yakin ya coach
Lihat.
G2
Ngapain
aja ya.
itu Kamil itu cocok.
Oh, pedang. Oh,
Oke, kita toilet dulu, cuy.
anjing, hari ini aneh
Ngapain
banget.
Kamil itu cocok.
Bang, pusing bang, udah bang.
I mean, I want 5 of these, Dracos. This is my kind of league. Let's fight.
Let's get through one, Kobe. Let's not,
Okay.
one at a
They're
time.
gonna go for a dive here, baby. Look at this, circling around both sides.
Labruf James. Assalamualaikum. Langsung aja.
Satchel charge is still up and available. LeBron zoning them away. Does get called out by Zayas. Excellent on
Alamak jus.
It's down on both sides, but it's 3 seconds until Delight is back up and active on the map. Kanavi debating, can he force the ulti? Caps goes golden with the Zonyas, buys a second. Instantaneous follow-up is there, and the encore not enough for Hansama. Instead, it's an encore for HLE. They want more kills, more violence, more action.
Desi ada
This
20
time,
juta
they're
anjir
the
itu
ones punching
champion
first, and
cowok.
luckily for G2, they've got enough distance that they're going to be able to walk this one off.
The problem is G2 punched the wall. If you hit a turret with your fist, that's going to hurt. Didn't say they were going to go for the dive. Didn't say it was going to be good. And HLE punished them. The damage there. Guma chases them off, and Zayas doesn't let them escape from under the tower. Zayas again on this Ambessa has just been able to clutch over and over.
Oke, we are ready guys untuk melihat pembantaian ini.
Caps, wake up, Caps.
Ngapain itu Kamil dari kemarin juga di ini Cikeria. Sekarang Delaki juga gitu aja. Kayaknya di like ini meniru Keria guys.
Mana yang perlu dilihat kayak lihat Warwick.
Look at getting there first again. So they wrap around from two sides, but with the Ziggs disengage from Caps and
T1 kalah tapi belum out kan.
that leaves LeBron alone under the
Emang T1
tower.
kalah cuy.
So Zayas can follow him with his ultimate.
Kan lu kemarin
easily able to
nonton.
snipe the
Ji.
Nautilus.
Lupa gua anjir.
And then Caps, even though he can kind
Saya
of
harus cek ke dokter
immune
deh.
the Vi ultimate,
Ingatan gue cuma 5 menit jir.
they're still waiting around. So he's gonna die as soon as he comes right
Kocak.
back out of it.
Oopsie, almost got out there. Did go to punch first. Again, you highlighted. Punch the
Masih
wall.
ada lower bracket cuy. Nah yang berarti T1 lawan G2 ini.
Flash in from LeBron. Gets the flash out from Guma.
Gue yakin kayak dia ya.
Emang T1 bisa menang lawan Furia.
Furia siapa? Oh, Furia.
Mohon maaf ini mah.
Rata anjir.
Sodok dia kumon.
Gila. Beneran harus dilihat Warwick ya cuy.
Lihat Ansama. Warwick. Gua bilang lihat Warwick cowok. Holy shit.
European Warwick right there. Broken Blade is gonna take to him. He is the last one standing along with LeBron. I mean, the Dragon is still up though. Draco's the Dragon's soul is available, and Kanavi, the only smite on the map though, is gonna get the vision control.
Yeah,
Warwick Sumatera.
I got a
Ini dia
howl, but
champion
I'm not
Sumatera
certain.
kesukaan
8-2-6.
kita,
1v1, Broken Blade starts taking people out, but if
You gotta love Broken Blade, man. People
this
give it,
looked dire.
people flame him when the picks don't work out. He always though will return to these off-meta counter picks when he likes the look of it, when they want to do a full scrap game. So let's take a look. Scuban was both able to sidestep and
Bagus, nice banget itu Labrov hooknya sumpah. Jujur bagus banget
also
Labrov.
sent the Seraphine over the top there too. Broken Blade though, he takes out Guma, which is key in the back line. This did so
Jadi
much
kita
damage. And
mendapatkan
then he can thrive in the rest of the fight, even though Zeka's able to jump over and finish off Scumon.
Itu sebulan dikasih 2.
Warwick just has to auto.
Bisa nyanyi please. Cek tes dulu, cek sound
Lighter from Rodrigo. Round one
Abis
into
ini
the
first
back
in.
Tadi
Encore across the entire team. Caps getting lower. Delight slow off to the side. Crucially, Guma is down. G2 holding on, but Kanavi and Zaya stay.
Aduh.
This time around, it is not going their
Are we
way.
duel?
HLE happy to turn this one.
What the
Running.
fuck?
But clearly there is no way out. The vibe, the Camille, the Ambessa, not
Goodbye.
needed. G2 sent packing. A freeze frame, but it
Wow, keren patung Seraphim.
Bagus sih posisi patungnya kebetulan ya.
like when HLE get their AoE off, huge value on that damage, giant amount of burst, and they're able to clean it up afterwards. That is finally gonna be the end of the Dragon Soul story, and it's gonna go over to the first seed from the LCK.
That mountain so overpowering them, making those bit of tanky stats that much stronger, the additional shielding that much harder to burst through, burst down, especially for Guma, who also now the Zanya's ready just to stop any more of those backline dive attempts. HLE poised for a victory lap to Baron and the base of G2 Esports. But there's another window to fight. G2 now at a massive deficit. Can they find a miracle once again?
All right, let's take a look at this because it happens so quickly with the Realm Warp. They go in and immediately they go for the full combo. Get the giant zig.
Jadi ingat Wonder pas lagi prime-nya. Wonder.
Trapping them in, and the value is just so big that the scrap from Kanavi and Zeus here at the end wins out. Even with a Seraphine ulti that went over the top, Dracos.
And I think there's just so much.
Dah saatnya kita ngopi, guys.
It's nice if
Udah ngopi kah, guys?
But G2 a little over-eager. It also looked like the fear from Brooklyn wasn't quite perfectly timed as they pop out. So an immediate satchel charge really stops him from kind of getting the start to the fight that he was looking for.
Yeah, and don't underestimate Ambessa's AoE damage either. Broken Blade, though, the lone gold lead, individual gold lead on the side of G2. Another
Agak. Gua kira replay anjir.
is respected by the teleport from Zeus, even though nobody is going to get caught. Everybody is on pins and needles here with the speed of the engages. You have to react instantly. Baron gonna get started up. HLE are gonna force G2 to walk into their vision control.
G2 ignoring bot lane. If they lose this fight, Guma TP's bot and the game is over. It's all on this. 8K, objective getting lower. Skumon ready to go over the wall, but they cannot walk through the minefield to force the 5.
Anjir enak banget si Guma cuy. Awas Guma kena ultinya, kena nih Guma nih. Oh, dia ada itu cuy. Nggak ada damage-nya anjir. Wah anjir. Oke, udah kelar.
Cukup.
They force the Baron, they force G2 to walk to them, and now HLE are gonna walk into their base.
HLE, a confident victory lap. G2 got lucky, they found some fights, they brought it back. But HLE so consistently performing better, making the most of their divers, and punishing the mistakes of G2 Esports in this first game. The
Lagu kemenangan kekalahan G2 cuy.
Really good, but it wasn't enough with HLE itemizing the healing reduction, never giving him a chance to make the impact he was looking for. G2 sent back to the
Sadaqallahulazim.
first blood.
Udah selesai cuy.
Series. First,
I respect it. G2 trying to play into that
Dobis
HLE
good gino.
Trying to keep tough for a little while, but HLE remain undefeated here at MSI. Analysts, take it away.
HLE say not today. We will defend LCK's honor regardless of what you throw our way. But what a first game. Incredible drafts. I mean, wow. Yeah.
Di dalam situ coachnya cuma bilang gini nih. Oke, kita barusan kalah. Do your best. Gue bakal susun strategi buat di lower bracket katanya.
Enggak dong. Masa nyerah gitu, Jir.
Kita akan melakukan yang terbaik di lower untuk bertemu T1. Itu kan yang kamu inginkan, Caps? Benar, Pak.
Interesting you say that, because we have a really good fight to show that. And it's important to note how comfortable these players are with this composition, right? So as soon as Zeka is going to be able to come in and land this Fate Seal, draw G2 back. They already know that Guma is coming up for the extra damage, and they also know that Kanavi is on the way, right? So with Guma able to fire from the backline and BB so low health, Kanavi is able to chase up here, and it's such a great like drawing of them in, also just relying focusing on Zeka on one of his
Siapa yang
signature
ide
picks
ngasih biduan
on the
zone ke
Yone
Hans BTW?
to be able to clean up the
melihat
rest
ini
of
di
this fight, and then they
TikTok,
were able
anjir.
to take over that top
Di TikTok
half of
bisa.
the map and get this man into a great position.
Wih, HOK lagi ada drama nih guys. Nggak boleh ya. Kita nggak boleh bahas game lain sih.
Dasar pengkhianat Wingkip.
They're usually pretty good at that, and I think you can
Betis
see that
ketemu
from Zeus
Faker.
playing
Iya,
Lane.
Ji.
Even though Warwick's not a top laner he's played against at all in the LCK, was something that he was respecting even when we saw Broken Blade.
Capek cok nontonnya cok, dari tadi aneh banget gitu.
And when it came to team fights, his performance was just what we've come to expect. Completely this big main character. Tried to deal with Zeka as well in the Yone.
Drama apaan tuh? Ya kalian silakan menyelam aja lah ya di grup ya.
Come to see from him many times before.
And we were scared when the Yone got locked in, let's be honest.
Bukan skin.
It's how do I life. I was scared when every champion was.
Soal 100 juta guys.
There was nothing in that draft where I was like, oh, that guy's
Lawan
actually bad
setara
at that
Zeus
pick.
mah
How do I life?
Abadin.
Just widely seen.
ABWR
Such a good
tanggal
Tim setara
9.
Zeus.
And then their understanding of their limits. Like Gumayushi's Ziggs, I think is overlooked to a degree. I know you're the
Kalau
Ziggs
Kildoran
connoisseur,
aja kagak
but the
becus.
fact that Gumayushi so often is put on a slightly setback role on this
Ini
team.
kayaknya orang-orang caster yang dari Eropa, pro playeran dari Eropa kayaknya dia ini ya lumayan bersyukur ya. Datang ke Korea gitu nggak kena panas mereka.
Just because he'd been farming so well and getting those plates in the bot side.
Yeah, and I think so often we saw fights starting where G2 were trying to hunt down Gumayushi on their Ziggs.
Tahun ini katanya kutub naik suhunya guys 1 derajat. Pertama kali.
It absolutely was, and that quote
Dalam
from
berapa
Hansama,
tahun
I
tuh
really
katanya.
want to play him again. You locked in Seraphine, like stealing Vitality's homework. But how do we look at this as we know it is a best of 5, right? What is your feeling here? I wouldn't. I say
Lemon
sell
aja
out
mainnya
G2
kagak di top
because
lane,
they did a
kocak.
reverse
Dia
sweep a few days
jungle
ago, and this doesn't really phase them. But what do you think about throwing a draft like this in the mix in the first game?
Well, I think it can catch them off guard. It obviously wasn't successful.
Berarti air laut naik, Jakarta hilang kan kur.
And a
What
lot
the
of the picks
fuck,
that
bro.
HLE used up
Itu kan
are now
berarti jadi
unavailable.
apa?
Right?
Game 2
Guma
fans
Ziggs,
LCK,
the light on this
game 2.
Camille, Zeka on this
Ini
Yone.
50 tahun lagi
Very
Jakarta
high budget picks for
Atlantis, tuh.
HLE. Whereas G2, okay, they lost Hansama Seraphine. I don't think they're so concerned about that.
Jangan-jangan Jakarta ini emang
Yeah, and I also
sebenarnya
think
Atlantis.
It's going to be really interesting to see the
Jakarta jadi
evolution
Atlantis,
continuing
makanya
from
proyek
the
IKN
bot lane, because I feel like
dibikin.
both of these teams
Jakarta jadi lautan air, kalau Bandung jadi apa, Bet?
to play things that like I don't even know what's going on in
Bukan Timur.
scrims, but I've
Bukan
heard some
lautan api.
absolutely demonic
Katanya nanti
things.
orang
We
Jakarta
saw
bakal
from
kubu
yesterday's
insan.
series
Emang ya?
how you can
Bukan
pull out these
Timur.
mages in the bot lane, even though the
Bisa ada
Seraphine
insangnya.
did not work here. I think the thought
anti
process
juga.
is really interesting, and I know one of the things I will always credit G2 for
Belanda
is being able to
lenyap.
adapt
Ah, Belanda mah
to
tinggal
things.
nambah
I think
tinggi
they're
aja dia
incredibly
dindingnya,
intelligent,
coy.
and I think they
Damnya.
have players who are willing to play slightly off
Mereka punya
meta stuff that
teknologi
they are
ya, cuy.
comfortable
Kita
with.
apa yang
We
punya
also
aja?
saw that when the Seraphine was picked and the Ashe wasn't,
Kita
HLE
punya
didn't ban
MBG.
the Ashe. They banned Rel.
Cuman
Seems
MBG
like this has
anjir.
been a more
Oh,
Tuh, kata-
ternyata
kata-
itu fungsi Kopdes di hutan.
Is not always where I want him to be. He's serviceable on them, but I'd much prefer to see him on
Mengerti
an
gua
AD
anjir,
carry. I think that's
visioner
where he really
cuy.
shines.
Is that a problem in this meta?
I think in this meta it is a little
Temen
bit of a
gua udah
problem. I
berlendir
trust Hansama
katanya
to
untuk
learn it. I
persiapan
think he's a very good
2030.
bot lane player,
Udah
but
bersisik
when
belum?
I see him really shine, it is
Berlendir.
carry from that physical damage perspective.
Yeah, I agree. But Ox, you can rest easy. You're not getting 3-0 today. Let's go!
It's the first LCK win versus the LEC
In months.
in months. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
T1 beat KC
T1.
Oh yeah, they
versus
did.
G2
No, I forgot about that.
versus
I forgot about that.
There's G2 Nexus that the LCK is taking
Again this
you know,
year.
in this year,
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Obviously, a little bit of a G2 perspective from us here on the desk. But Emily, how does HLE win game 2?
I mean, I think they're super comfortable, right? I think even though we talked about how some of their power picks are off the table, they, like, when you say, okay, I don't necessarily want to see Hansama and Mage's bot, I think that's
Unwell
perfect
life
for
bullfight.
someone like
Gitu last
Guma,
pick.
and I think they then lock in
Yoi, kita
really strong
counter-counter.
picks for their solo
Jangan
laners.
kasih
It's interesting to see
champion
that G2 are
counter.
continuing to pick counter pick. Again, we saw this in the first series. Maybe they have
Jadi
something
saatnya kita
else,
counter-counter.
a little bit of a surprise in pocket, but I think HLE are very comfortable right now.
Yeah, the question is, do they have to throw that out?
Fnatic
Could they
mana
play
bang?
it
Udah
or
pulang.
set up and win? Do they believe in that? I don't know. The second game.
Belum,
will tell.
Jin.
Let's see if G2 fights back or if HLE gets the match
Gua
point
ambil es
first.
batu dulu cuy ya.
Already dead. Kanavi looking to clean up. Broken Blade finds Gumayushi on the side. He'll take him down. But top jungle from HLE is tearing through the fight.
Yeah. I like it. Look on Vi.
Yeah,
I'll help Vi. I'm coming. Can I just in. Best focus on. We're winning this, guys. Okay, we're winning this. Have confidence.
Flash away from Caps is simply not enough, but Skewmon, Warwick beside him.
Tadi sebenarnya bisa menang sih guys kalau mereka kagak all in Guma sih.
Long, the magic
Honestly.
damage gone, and this wolf is tearing through, baby.
Kalau yang menang ada saya sih, Princess Topaz bisa sih. Jujur bisa. Bisa banget.
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually
ENC Korea siapa yang ini cuy? T1 dulu ya, cuman siapa satunya beda?
Esports Nations Cup 2026.
Nggak tahu.
See you in Riyadh.
Si kan apa Kenyan ganti owner.
Oh nggak ada owner.
Jika kau bertemu aku begini.
Kenapa lagunya begini coy?
Berlu
Kontol donet anjing.
keringat membasah bumi.
Kok double gini coy?
Terkurung terukku.
What the fuck was that bro?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Ini sih udah saatnya sih game 2 sih. Anivia Poppy. Anivia top lane,
Fans LCK.
jangan.
Salah pencet.
Fansnya
Begini
malah
playlist
LCK.
lu mukur, bukan anjing.
Kalau NC mah bawa nama negara. WNC bawa nama Joko maksudnya.
Mana tadi? Harus digeser dulu nih anjir.
Jika kau bertemu aku begini, berlumpur tubuh dan keringat membasah bumi. Di penjara terkurung terukku.
Gua ada tuh lihat video Fury anjir. Dia katanya pengen join komunitas Fury. Bener nggak kalau pengen join komunitas Fury harus bisa menggonggong? Enggak, katanya. Bener nggak harus punya baju kayak begitu? Enggak. Kalau lu mau ikut join aja nanti di jam 7 deket ini katanya. Anjay, ada perkumpulannya anjing.
Tapi kan Reddit sekarang udah nggak di blok lagi tuh. Sudah saatnya keluar dari blok.
Ayo bikin subreddit Fury Indonesia.
Kuro bikin bentar lagi bikin itu Fury ramah tamah.
Yang ramah kick. Yang tidak ramah kick.
Fury Indonesia dalam kurung ramah tamah. Awalnya kuat karena Deus, kalau juga tuh Hanafi juga serem lagi. Jujur kalau secara realistis emang di atas Kumon jauh sih. Pacarnya Lilia guys, emang agak lain.
Kalian lihat ini cuy ya. Kenapa udara di Jakarta jelek banget guys ya.
Welcome back to MSI 2026 in beautiful Deja.
Tuh,
Lihat, guys.
jangan salahin angin nggak ada KTP.
Game 1, oh my gosh, a banger. There was a Warwick, there was a lot of...
Lihat di Eropa cuy. Full hijau jir.
It's been a long day.
Lihat. 14, 8 kualitas udaranya. Di Jakarta 200 anjing.
A lot of what the desk is talking about.
Karena KTP, angin nggak punya KTP gue.
G2 have come in the game economy.
Benar.
They are very behind, however.
Coba
So
ini ada
if they
KTP.
manage to pull this game 2 out, I think there's a lot of
Lihat,
optimism that
jir.
could start to bloom for the side of G2 esports.
Yeah.
Dan hampir semuanya loh sampai ke Tangerang. Bogor juga ternyata begitu
I
cuy.
do like it, you know, opting
Bandung
into
juga.
use the Warwick to fully
Yang agak bersihan ini nih apa nih? Semarang agak oke. Bali oke. Kalimantan oke. Papua nggak banyak yang punya sih. Padang not bad lah. Gak ada voting kok. Izin lo mulai aja cok.
Nanti cuk,
After that, definitely Guma just kind of took off, and so let's get into game number 2 to see if HLE will continue in that same direction. Rumble is banned, but they're picking the Jarvan first here anyway. And let's see what sort of
Strategi
carry
barat.
G2 wanna go
Tina
with.
juga
You're always
lumayan
gonna
oke
play around
udaranya.
Cataclysm
Tiana gak sih guys?
and get some mobility for yourself.
And it's a little bit tough because oftentimes when you want to focus down a single player, maybe someone like Kanavi, you know, you ban out comfort picks, etc. But for Kanavi, comfort picks is the meta, so there's no really point in shipping away. It's kind of inevitable that he is going to have this early game impact. With the J4 locked in, it's going to be the Lee Sin picked up by
Di
G2.
penjara.
Early matchup here, like
Kok jadi
mobility.
kayak ingat lagu itu.
Ya, kalah tuh, udah tuh.
You know, most of his kit right there. So
that's all the damage. You got that early. You win the fight.
Udah mas, next mas.
Yeah, lo lisin cuy.
Udah kalah gitu cok, anjing skumon lisin.
Now here with
Lisin Yunara.
Skumon udah nongolin lisin cok, next. Ada tuh.
Now with the Yunara as well, again, you need that mobility, the jumps to get out of the Cataclysm. So threatening the Yunara Lulu already. HLE. Okay, we're gonna go with the Lucibilio into the Yunara Lulu instantly.
Tinggal topnya set aja ya, kudanya Ionia 3 kan.
When you look at the kind of
Gelo.
way we expect HLE to play the game,
Set.
like this, we expect a lot more topside
Set
focus.
Z.
Ionia 3 coy, Z.
Really, this duo is set up to dominate in the 2v2 after those first
Itu
two
dia
levels.
Lucian Milio.
It's just such a powerful duo
Planning sih
because you
bagusan
can
Karma
close the
sih.
Yunara.
get so much uptime
Lulu.
on this passive. It is insane. So he gets the heals and the shields, and
Oh ya, Karma juga Ionia ya.
provide some of those trades with the shields on the timers where Yunara.
Yang mid magic siapa cuy?
That's when it's fightable, but
Ionianya.
Lucian gets to choose so
Oh
many
ya, Ari ya.
different timings to work with that it gets pretty scary, especially if
Iya,
teams
ada magicnya
have
kan,
started doing this where they send their
Jangan lupa pakai Swain gue biar kecilnya
level
nyala.
1, so you can try and get vision priority, and then you can go for your little bursty trade right at the beginning, and don't allow the Yunara to stack up her Q. Then it can get problematic. So we'll see if there's any like level 1 that goes along with it.
Oke, kenal gue mukanya orang ya.
Try and play it themselves. But speaking of mid laners, and you've got Zeka, the
Yang
world
bacot di
champion
belakang itu.
of the Akali Silas meta. I think Akali right now is super
Iya,
good.
kayak
By
pernah
the way.
lihat di mana gitu.
And it hasn't been like super highly prioritized quite yet, but we're only game 2 in a series, and you're playing versus Zeka, so they don't want to get deleted by that.
No, they most certainly do not. Now the Annie's going to be banned, so both sides pretty comfortable focusing mid lane here. Of course, the support response from G2 was the Lulu for Lebrov. Had a stellar game. Not a game that G2 won, but a really incredible individual performance.
Yunara emang bagus skor. Bagus lah.
Sometimes it's going to be a tall task to weather the storm of Gumayushi and Delight. Here is a little bit of debate coming in from the side of G2, and Victor actually going to be what's taken off the board. Now, Zeka, as a player, of course, kind of known for a long time for those iconic picks. The melees plus an Azir plus an Ahri has branched out over the years, so giving him that respect, not wanting to give him that scaling control mage option is, interestingly enough, Aatrox is going to be the final ban.
Very interesting in
Turnilol kah? Iya.
Zeus wants to play like a tank up there that doesn't want to have to play into Aatrox.
Itu siapa namanya? Lisandra ya? Sindra ya?
Scions type of stuff. We'll see.
Oh iya, Sindra.
Because it's
Nggak
going
tahu.
to
Kan ada Yonara.
be
Telat
the
saya.
Caps Syndra.
Galio.
He did have
Demasia kah?
pentakill on it, and then afterwards,
Masih amin 1, Cok.
last time I got a pentakill at MSI.
Ah, diambil Ionianya cuy.
Garen.
It's notably hard. It's a lot harder to win MSI now as a side note.
Anivia.
Way more credit though for calling your shot early. Okay?
That is true. That is true. I like that. Okay, so Anivia the lock in here. So still a control option. The additional wall can make it tricky for a lot of champions, but mostly for Syndra and the
Invoker nyala, kur. Invoker dia nyala.
Iya anjir.
to play around the J.
Tinggal Sona nih. Anjing.
Yeah,
Sion.
it does sound kind of scary for Syndra, but Scatter of the Week is quite good versus Jarvan, even though you're like, all right, Cataclysm is very scary.
Burungnya Kuro keluar, bukan anjing.
Unstoppable during the Cataclysm, so
Oh enggak. Actually.
Ada Silas cuy. Ini mah invoker banget ini, Pit.
top lane Anivia, by the way, and
Tinggal cari Ani akhirnya. Bener ya sih?
Actually yes. Sudah kuduga.
Insta locks here in the response.
Udah pasti yes, Wo.
This is a very volatile composition. Once
Ini
again,
dia.
I respect.
We did it as well. We did the Yasuo into the Anivia in the mid lane.
Sure.
And so the theory is kind of the same in top lane, just a longer lane to try and take advantage of. And since both of them have junglers that can get up there pretty early, you know, it is going to force these junglers to choose. Are we going to go towards top lane volatile matchup, or are we going to try and mess around with dealing with Lucian Milio early on? Or are we going to let that Lucian Milio just go to town?
Feels like both top and bot for both sides have the potential to be volatile, potentially decided by that.
I mean, mid lane too, baby.
Mid lane.
Work today is broken.
Cicak lu, Kur. Biar clear bawahnya, coy.
Top and bot for both sides have the potential to be volatile, potentially decided by that.
I mean, mid lane too, baby.
Mid lane too.
We got Silas smacked.
Ya suntot. G2, GG, too easy.
Coming in confident. You see the Yasuo counterpick. Not really shaking, not stepping back after that Warwick in game one. Still confident, trying to set Broken Blade up for as much success as possible. And again, it makes sense because you know when you
Itu apa putih-putih dekat dia cuy ya, silau anjing.
top side. So really wanting to make sure that he has the tools he needs to come out.
And this is what I have always loved.
Apa nih browser gua kenapa tiba-tiba gelap, Cok? Ibro tiba-tiba memutuskan untuk not responding anjing.
About Broken Blade. People will throw tons of flame at him, buckets of flame, when one of these picks doesn't work out, but he never shies away from it. He will always return to his counter picks. He will index very heavily into them.
Menit berapa kayak deh?
Puts their faith behind him, and let's see if it will pay off here. Honestly, I didn't think the world was better on the last one.
3, 4, 5,
There were some moments where it didn't work in the 1v1, but
There were some concerning moments
Dah.
too, Kobe, but
5-1.
Blade spends his time in NA, so he's my boy.
1 menit 51.
What's my boy? He's always my boy.
I respect. He's my boy too. But right now,
1 menit
Kobe,
51.
our boy,
Yeah.
is going up
1
against
menit
Ace, which always makes me a
lewat
bit
4.
nervous. But let's talk a little bit about the bottom lane, right? You already saw the level 1 that you mentioned, a quick roam down from Zeka, making sure that Guma and Delight could move in, get a bit more control over the lane. Didn't result in them fully being able to stop Hans from stacking up the Q, the cultivation of spirit. Is
Arkana Lulu.
a nice sidestep from Caps means this trade is very favored for the Syndra.
Yeah, and I like you touch on it. They've got the sweeper start on the bottom side for Lebrov too, for that the vision, for the first priority, and so you know they use it. Both,
in the world.
wait a second.
Oh, Zeka missing again. Dark Sphere.
Oops.
Not enough to get the kill down, but this is a perfect start to the lane for Caps. Both sides burning both pots. Zeka likely going to be forced to burn the TP, but Caps hoping to
Kalian.
scatter.
Wih.
Stops his recall. Zeka dodges it, but it forced him to stop, forced him to move there.
Kekalahan.
They were able to snipe the world champion Zeka Akali, but he got onto a Silas, and Cap says, fine, I'm going to pull you out of lane very early.
G2, G-nya gorong-gorong, Kur. Mau jadi presiden kah?
But also about bottom lane, is Guma in game 1? You highlighted it. The first level looked like G2 all the way. The stats really tell a story of Guma all the way. So the fact that now he has an even more dominant champion in the Lucian is a bit concerning, especially when you think of the total history between these two guys, right? It has often just been the Guma Yushi show.
Yeah, I mean,
Dia serius untuk membatalkan Hall of Legend.
For all these times, Guma has taken him down. Happy to get his chance at least. So he's got his chance.
Aduh, habis makan kok jadi ngantuk ini cuy.
In the Yunar Lulu at the moment, but Guma's gonna start to flex his muscles a little bit here.
Perasaan nasinya dikit.
For now.
Usually we don't get to say that, but I love that ability name specifically.
Ultra Mega Fire Can.
Zeus ini
This is
nggak
an
bakal bisa
unnecessary mouthful,
melawan
yeah.
Yantot.
There's a lot of syllables.
Look at this. Right. Circle around. Kanavi's got the information advantage. He saw him walk into the brush.
Zayas still has egg.
Jangan,
Is he
Kumon,
counting
jangan balik
recall
dulu,
timer?
Kumon.
Nope,
Fuck.
gone.
He's already gone.
I love the observers,
I love
man.
these observers.
I
but
love
like,
the observers.
Oh man, sometimes you're just like, they're surely setting us up for a play. Sometimes they're just teasing us. As we looked away from bot lane for 20 seconds. And the health trades have gone horribly awry. So you can see
Ngopi kur ini sambil ngopi guys.
Because Hansama desperately needs to recall.
Ini gua habis beli kopi lukur. Takut Jitu ngasih game ngantok. Kopi lukur apa nih? Gua nggak jualan kopi jir.
Flash away from Kanavi, who's here first. HLE, excellent cover from their jungler to stop Skewmon from being able to find a kill.
Oh, he was trying to predict it, trying to match here, and now they chase them all off.
Habis makan ngantuk itu tanda diabetes, Bang.
Luckily.
I mean, it's so devastating.
Tidak mungkin gue diabetes cuy. Gue orang paling sehat di dunia ini.
What's this? Is that a bucket of water or something?
Just blowing bubbles? It is. We've confirmed. He's just blowing bubbles.
That's a. I mean, he's
itu yang bikin kata-kata kayak gitu siapa deh?
Morning routines. Maybe it's ice water, and he's trying to.
Kata-kata mana?
Iya kayak abis makan kalau ngantuk. Diabetes gitu tandanya.
Terrible decision for the schedule.
Coba tanya dokter kita.
Kayaknya emang karena diabetes deh kalau abis makan ngantuk itu.
Kayak semua orang tuh pasti ngantuk abis makan soalnya lu perutnya ngambil tenaga buat ngeproses makanan ya, Cok.
I'm a fan.
Bukan, jadi kalau misalnya kita habis makan, terus kalau gulanya terlalu tinggi, itu insulinnya naik. Nah kalau insulin naik itu efeknya emang ngantuk, katanya gitu sih.
Enggak gitu deh. Itu kayak lu bisa bilang siapapun yang habis mandi pakai anduk buat ngeringin badannya artinya TBC gitu. Gak ada korelasinya gak sih anjing?
Gue kurang tahu.
Kayak aneh banget anjing.
Lu punya bisnis kurs sekarang, nyaingin Starbucks. Gila. Ngeri banget anjing.
Now you can just keep on going in for these trades with the Lucian Million.
Beli copyright kopi Kuro aja kur. Gue yang dibeli.
Hard to deal with it.
Also just Caulfield's back versus Cold Dagger is yeah. It's tough to match this. Nice polymorph, but
PR banget ya. Ini ngelawan apa Lucian ya?
Di Deka mati
recognizes the danger and decides it is time to back up.
Deka ngedep mati sih.
Wih, satu kali hit lagi, anjir. Nah, ada Zem. Kena. Ya, mau di MW sekalian. Ayo 3-1, serepet. Roto, Cik. Gak ada yang mati, Cik. Ayo KD mau dibikin 0 berapa ini?
Looks like Hans is not going to get his revenge just quite yet.
Anjing sakit banget, Cok.
Wait, Kanavi's going to wrap around. He's level 6. They could get caps as
Wah.
here. If he's not
Enggak.
All right. They're going to back off. Let him hold on to that one for now. They actually sent Hans down mid lane here.
Anjay, perfect classic.
Pick up the minion wave.
2-3 going a bit wide there from Broken Blade, hoping to find the knock-up. Recognizing he has time isolated in the top lane 1v1, wants to make the most of it, but Zayas is nasty with it. Sidestepping multiple Qs there in that sequence.
Yeah, and we were discussing, which of these volatile lanes are they going to go try and tend to? Are they going to let the Lucian Milio go to town?
Gak nyoba Liberica, Kur. Pernah gue nyoba, kurang suka gue.
Counter pick here, and the decision was towards the bottom side, and Guma has been the beneficiary. 2 kills.
3-0.
Definitely very substantial.
3-0 ini, 3-0.
Masih ada lower bracket.
Poke, and everybody's going down there. It's not just Kanavi. Zeka also with the roam over this time around. You can see Kanavi on the mini map, but they did all the work for him. Zeka's able to go in, pick up the kill onto Hans. Then they go for the repeat play. And look at the minimap too. Cap's trying to come over, but he's just going to be so far away. Syndra cannot move like Silas can here. And so they have a much easier route to bottom side. Yeah.
Tuh, lihat. Skumon tiap main Lisin tuh begitu. Kenapa masih dikasih Lisin?
Level 6 Silas when you still don't have access to your ult, using your ult to make a successful dive.
Skumon tiap main Lisin mukanya begitu, udahnya rebahan di kursi itu, udah lemes aja.
Calm down, weather the storm. As you highlighted though on the top side, despite the counter pick.
Udah kayak 3 kali gue lihat Skumon main Lisin.
Ketika Skumon sudah jadi standar
so hasn't needed that attention, but now Kanavi you can see in the river.
Kopi lokal paling enak apa bang sekarang? Nggak tahu tuh cuy. Yang NMBG sama Kopdes kur. Kalau bisa punya bisnis sebesar itu sih mantap kali cuy. Nggak strip lagi. Hampir cok.
Itu dia.
Ragu dia cok.
Cocok Silas anjing. Weh, no vision cok. Fuck.
Anjir masih ditahan coy.
Punya ulti Syndra cok. Sama.
Goodbye dong.
Dijual tuh.
Gimana ini? Ini mah udah pembantaian, cuy. Kena lagi anjir. Gila sakit banget, cok. Wih, nggak nafsu loh. Tidak nafsu, cuy.
Tuh kan KD. Bangun.
Ya cuonya nge-flash.
Bangun kayak
I mean they got numbers because Guma there took the 2v1 to the very edge there. He fights the 2v1 to the very edge, buying the time for Zeka to get there. Teleports down, closes the trap onto Hans, then taking him down again. Let's see.
KN apa kabar ya bang? Orang kontraktor tuh gua kayaknya.
You know, Zeka's roams have been felt bottom lane, but Caps does have the CS lead to speak because of it.
Tep, ultinya nggak ada tapi.
Quick flash back there. The golden egg is slow connects, but it might not matter too
ada deh.
much.
Gua kira nggak ada aja.
Gitu aja. Langsung aja Bang Skumon.
Jangan ada Yantot.
Yantot combo TikTok, guys.
This is good for G2. They turn the battlefield to mid lane here, and Skumon coming over is the extra person they needed. I mean, they still have Broken Blade here. He was waiting for more action, but it's actually going to take him a while now to get back to the top.
Nih yang nyuruh pick Syndra, ya so kayaknya si Perks deh.
I wonder if that top wave is a cannon wave, how much this is going to get up there, but we'll see afterwards. They get the flash, and then Kanavi's like, all right, well, if it's 2v2, we can handle this because Delight is on the way. But Skumon was also coming over, and Skumon with the flash gets inside there for the kick as well.
Top lane, Broken Blade, moving up. Zeus had pushed the wave all the way in. Risky call from Zeus. Last breath to come through, but Kanavi already on the way.
Dia nggak ada flash dia cuy, Awas jangan kena skill dash cuy. Game loh.
It's just domination in the top lane 1v1.
Yes, sir. Zeus, as we said, one of the super early adopters years ago.
Super.
Very comfortable there, kiting and buying time for Kanavi to join again. They do get the kill onto Broken Blade, who just teleported top Draco, so it's even worse than a regular gank.
Lagu ini penghilangan tuh.
Panggilan kemenangan.
So immediately go for the bot side counter of the dragon, but
it's taken so long that Kanavi is here.
Yeah.
Guma walking up, that's the polymorph. Piercing light onto LeBron.
Thanks for the leash.
The consolation prize looks like it might be going to HLE, and they seem pretty well consoled already, Kobe. They keep all of the prizes are theirs. It's console like G2. What are they getting back, Kobe?
Your friend just won a hand in poker, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna come console you. Really, really tough time you've been having over here, making money.
Being wildly far ahead, as it were. 2K advantage for HLE, and this is so frustrating for G2. Broken Blade continuing to go all in onto Zeus. He doesn't really have another option. Caps now coming up, gets on the other side of the wall. Last breath there, but unfortunately not on the other side of the wall where he needs to be. Reset into the egg. G2 should grab the skill, but Zeka now moving in. No way the Anivia manages to live. Broken Blade dashing through the shutdown, going to Caps, fighting the bottom lane. Ulti onto Hans, some of the wild goes, gives him an extra second. Guma overstepping. Shutdown extra healing now coming in.
Guma. Anjing, dia loncat lagi.
Polymorph, down he goes.
G2, sama nih bos.
An excellent fight in the bottom lane.
Hans is kind of moving
Ada
here.
alasan,
I mean, even
ada
though he got shut
sama
down so
setelah
much
Hans.
early on, pushed off of waves, Labob gonna check here to interrupt the recall from Delight. But even with all of the early hindrance that Hansama had to face, able to get some back there, get a kill, and make his Kraken Slayer at the very least.
And an overstep from Guma, it feels like actually underestimating. And that's big. Gets something. Also is going to be empowered by the Lulu. You can see the Ardent Sensor there for that additional. Echoes of Helia, also a very good item coming in for Delight, but in the extended fights, Labrov really amping up that 80 carry damage output is here, HLE.
Yeah. So they start out, they use so much on Labrov who flashes over that Skumon gets a good angle. Nice kick from Delight. He did interrupt the early arrival of Skumon, but they still pull it out here. Labrov uses the ult onto Hansama. They're able to dash forward during the Cataclysm. Skumon still can't get out, so he goes down, but they do get an extra one there, and Hans getting money is critical to catch back up into this game so they can have some threat. Nara, Lulu for later.
That was incredible. It looks like Hans's dash just barely took him out of the Cataclysm damage. Allowing him to find that kills now. 2v2. No longer in bot lane, instead in mid. Skumon nearby. Navi not too far off either.
Biasanya kalau udah gitu udah debat deh. Cuma didebatin lebih tepat.
Gak suka G2 jadi raja ya. Bukan gak suka tapi Real Limstis.
Not having Mercs is always a tough discussion with Yasuo just because of
Gue juga pengen G2 yang ada di final cuy, cuman realistis cuy. Kita harus hidup.
Bukan sama Caps yang main coy.
Big circle.
Also, Labrov probably gonna get a Mikhail's this game.
Inspect.
Running in.
Inspect elemen jir.
Skumon the shielding enough, keep relatively healthy.
Inspektur gadget.
Inspekturku.
Pancing, Kanavi tuh suka pura-pura lemah, dia masuk ke... Nah, itu dia maksud gua. Si Kanavi tuh suka pura-pura mundur gitu loh, anjing. Habis itu multi.
Aduh. Putar lagunya Kuro. Pencet lagunya Kur.
Sudah saatnya.
Solo laners
Jantot.
2v3. Hoping to make the difference. Flash out from Broken Blade, though. Leaves his mid laner to die. There's no other choice. He cannot save him.
They give the kill to Zeka here on the Silas. As well. Both mid and doing work that entire time as Broken Blade
Udah saatnya.
teleport to go cut off try and get Caps an avenue to escape, but even with that, unable to do so. Flash down from him as well.
Zeus just canceling recall after recall after recall, knowing that no one on G2 is in a good position to threaten him here, and now having his entire team back him up as he basically just solo kills Hans.
Woo, that was brutal right there, Zeus. My goodness, keeps the pressure up on the tower. Sits Hans down again. And Guma says, I'll take over from here.
And it's just so hard when you're G2. You lost the Ambessa, the meta stuff. Now you're losing to the more niche stuff. The top lane matchup just seems like a puzzle that G2 have not had an answer for yet, and the problem that was once Broken Blade is very quickly turning into everybody's problem. As G2, the gold lead still okay, as now we see last breath at the bottom lane.
Iya, masih diliatin, masih diliatin.
Zeus kenapa ada di sini lagi aja?
Masih dilihat. Jatuh.
Ganggu Taiwan, Cok.
Anivia is a mobile champion.
Ya.
Also forced to flash out.
Ganggu janji suci by one.
Yeah, brother. This guy deserves to win Worlds, I think, maybe. Some would say.
I like too, he's calling down the lightning, even when he's playing the Frost character, he's got the electrocute. Able to get that synergy as they drive this Herald right on in.
Man's got every element ready to go. Kanavi. Zeka. Okay. The 1v1 versus Caps. And that, I think, is at least one of the straws currently breaking this particular camel's back. Caps, the sole member of the team with that individual gold lead, but now it's 4-0-4 scoreline for Zeka. The avenues of attack, the angles of opportunity for G2 just disappearing.
Just so you know, they buffed Silas on this patch.
Yeah, extra healing. And there it is. There's some of that extra healing.
Yeah, this is nice. He's able to run Caps all the way down. No escaping after the arrival. Let's take a look. Okay, so HLE back on track with the Dragons, but really it's all about the kills and the gold lead. I mean, they've taken so many towers, it's really easy to get consecutive picks here against G2. Syndra does not belong in side lanes. You are a low mobility, fragile mage. You are gonna have a very big issue, as we just saw. You're trying to survive up there. And Zeka's gonna go straight back.
Kalau Leblanc
Every time
udah pentas sih,
side lane
jujur.
wave, okay, we'll hover this Syndra, but HLE can do that too.
And that Coinbase gold grind just showing us that despite a 40 CS discrepancy, kills can more than make up for the differences. Labrov has simply stepped too far forward. Didn't really burn much of anything to make that happen. Caps now in no man's land, a decent scatter as Humon manages to kick Gumiyushi out of the equation, but now Caps is in enemy territory and may once again just be sacrificed. Kanavi puts him in the Thunderdome. The extra healing, and Caps just doesn't do enough damage to finish the kill. Breath of
What's he
life
doing
there?
there?
To close is once again kills just being donated to Kuma.
Karena jalannya dipotong sama Kanavi, Kak.
Keeps Kanavi up while they finish up.
Mau pulang juga nggak bisa, tinggal diloncatin Kanavi.
Honestly, HLE don't look like they're dropping a game anytime soon at this tournament with how they're playing. Broken Blade in a brush, though. What can they do?
Q auto, another Q, dash through. If he gets the knock-up, he can probably finish the kill. Flash away from Guma, giving him respect. But Zeka's just solo killing Labrov. And now Broken Blade is dead. Oh gosh, yep, last breath, aptly named. That's the last breath he's gonna get.
What the fuck?
It's HLE obliterating G2.
Bangun. Udah sore.
There's not a lot else to say. It's 16-5. It's a 7,000 gold lead. We're 20 minutes in.
Gua aja udah tidur lagi tuh.
Belum.
Oke.
Zeus, just give him a crumb, please. Have mercy. Oh no, Caps is next. Oh no, Kobe.
Alamak, itu si Zeka udah kejar lagi.
Hey, he already got a pentakill on the champ. This is going slightly less good this time around.
Guys, wifi gua nge-lag. Oh tidak, kayaknya bentar lagi RTO sih streamnya.
You go game 3. You believe in G2 to go back to the drawing board.
Lihat mau ninja, Cok.
Guys, jujur RTO sih.
Mau ninja, Cok. Udah nggak mau nonton, Cok. Mau ditutup layarnya, Cok.
Oh shit.
Takes down Labrov there. He was able to hit both chains for the first round and then the second round too. Labrov not able to dodge anything there, and you saw the whole thing the first time around?
They're so good.
Yeah.
And I knew it when I watched the LCK VODs, but it feels different when they're playing against your representative, I will say. It hits a lot harder as Zeka just doesn't stop.
Hits hard.
Oh, he takes the Yasuo and he's doing better with it.
Alamak, langsung ulti, Cok. Zeka, alamak. Mamam itu Silas ya,
Zeka
Cok.
turns back. He's got Silas. They are desperate to finish off Zeka. They have so many members. Surely they can kill this mid laner, but Guma's off to the side. They're being herded, knocked back into their own jungle as HLE just make a montage on the first seed of the LEC. Zeus didn't even arrive yet. Finally, the bird is here, but it's another double kill to Zeka.
HLE looking to get some revenge for Gen G and BFX at first stand. And they're going to get it, Dracos. They are getting it all right.
Guys,
That's 20
tapi
pages in
guys,
Zeka's book. And
satu-satunya Yanto yang berhasil menang
this one
lawan
feeling like a
BLG
short story, Kobe.
LCK
A little
took that
novella.
first stand personally.
That they did.
Masih bisa, masih bisa.
I don't know. I personally I liked it more when BFX. HLE terrifying. Skewmon praying on a 50-50. Might get a kill, but he cannot steal this because they have the discipline to back away. And there's Zeka once more. Now legendary, insane dominance coming out for HLE. G2, this is their final stand. 1.7K. The objective will fall. Hansama off to the side. 4v5. G2 continue to walk up. Scuttle Crab plopped on top of Zeka's head. Broken Blade charging the Q. Ease through. Manages to find the last breath. Polymorph onto Zeka. They're getting a bit of space here. Hansama still standing. Ult's looking to transcend.
Nyolong kepiting, Cok.
The follow-up is there.
Anjir bisa gitu kobonya, Cok.
With the Dragon's Rage. He's absconding. He's abducting. They finally kill the mid laner.
Udah ya kayak dia ya. Udah cukup.
Holy moly! HLE, they take down the 12-kill Silas. That is going to be your biggest trophy of the game, Draco says. HLE, they can do whatever they want.
That they can. 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes is a incredible number. And you look back, G2 know that there are no good fights, so they got to make do with what they can.
Oh my goodness. Zeka in form, and Akali and Silas are both strong right now. Take a look at it. He kicks Hans into the pit, and then he's going to go for the flashover, land the change on the Cap. But Cap saw it coming, so he at least gets his Scatter the Weekend to ultimate.
Frustration on the face of LeBron.
Melayat ke gitu.
It hurts to go down like this, right? We're having fun with it because there's not a lot left to be said, but this is still
a
high-pressure series.
Hey, me and you were there. They pulled off a reverse sweep not too long ago. In fact,
and game 1 and game 2 versus Top were diabolical.
Yeah. Top has now exited the tournament already, but
what do we say about the transitive property, Kobe? Let's not go any deeper into that one. It's not over till it's over. I didn't hear no bell. They may have tried to ring it, it's unclear, but HLE are not letting them get close to that particular bell. But again, you have a game 3, you have a chance to bounce back. The mental fortitude going to be necessary from the side of G2 Esports. As Skuma looking to follow up on Kanabi. Good chunk to kick things off. The wild growth stolen. And once again, just fantastic setup. Kanabi still living. Really knocked up. That's the EQ flash to ensure they have the lockup there. Breath of life. No one is dropping down. Caps' own base is no longer safe.
I mean, that was like art. That was beautiful engage. Caps versus Egg.
Ada telurnya, anjir.
He's gonna lose before the time.
Lari Caps, gak bisa. Recall, anjing. Recall, monyong. Alamak.
He knows.
Goodbye.
Even more dominant than game 1. Give no hope. Give no quarter to the side of G2. They move on to match point. They're looking to clean sweep the series and remain undefeated at MSI.
All right, analyst Des. Tell us how G2 are going to pull off this reverse sweep.
Need enough. Give him the trophy. HLE is just too good. I don't know, Kobe. I don't know. Ox, do you want to gloat for a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I will. They look phenomenal, and I am joined by my
guys. Kita restart modem dulu ya.
But you know, this is all scripted. We all know how can deal with this kind of situation. But the thing is, HLE is looking just so much stronger than expected. And I think the issue is they have so many comfort picks like Zeka and Silas once again.
Yeah, as you say, not expected. I would argue to say that we did expect them to be very, very strong. You said it, a lot of comfort picks across the board, but Emily, it didn't start off well. Talk to me about that bot dive.
Yeah, so this features Zeka on his signature pick of Silas. I love this setup from playing around the pushing pressure of this Lucian Milio, right? So they get Labrov and Hans really low. Zeka is going to be able to wrap around here. Even though he has to go back to turret because his bot lane is still just so low. They're really patient about clearing out the wave, and then Zeka just boop, one tap. Kanavi is already heading over, and what's about to happen is just a beautiful flag and drag into a stolen wild growth that knocks up both Skewmond and Labrov. They both go down. This sets up Zeka in such a great position to just take over the game.
And you know, when the Silas came in, I was thinking there's not that many amazing ults for him to steal. We're so used to seeing like Alistair all being a takeaway, but he got so much value out of this wild growth throughout the game, just getting consistent multi-man knockups on it. It felt pretty smooth.
I mean, the issue started even before, you know, they couldn't really lane against the Lucian Milio. That's the issue when the different 2 meta kind of crashes, you know, because I think in LCK, you normally don't pick Yunara blind just like that because you kind of afraid to play against Lucian Milio. So I think that was the main issue for G2 bot lane here.
I love that analysis. I also heard you talking about how they were kind of forced to pick a skirmishing jungler.
Yeah, I think Skewmond is one of the jungler who just wants to pick something like a Soul or like Lee Sin, because I think
dan menang.
This year in general, you know, he just picks over like a Strundle or something like more stable. But I think this time around he had to pick Lee Sin because he had to match the power of the skirmishes in the mid jungle. But I think the issue again, the bot lane was not able to lane properly, and that's why he kind of pulled over to the bot lane more than he expected.
Let's talk a little bit more about that bot lane and about Guma, right? Ox, we know the tale. We've heard it many times about he's a great weak side player in Gumayushi. He can put on all these different hats to make it work, and you see it again in this composition.
Yeah, I think when you see a team that has Zeka and Zeus as solo laners and Gumayushi as a bot lane, we've seen them time and time again put Guma on the weak side and play to the solo lane. So this game shows they are not one-dimensional. They can put the carry pants on for Guma and play through him. They put so much resources into bot. We saw Zeus in the top lane playing Anivia stalling out, and Gumayushi absolutely delivered on this Lucian.
I mean, is he playing weak side, by the way?
Not in this
Look
one.
at the damage! Look at the damage. It's just insane, you know? Like, we can just play through Gumayushi. You can just play without Gumayushi. That's the player that you can just, like, just deal with it.
Yeah, everyone is scary.
Well, and also how it combines, right? Because we saw in that earlier play, Zeka getting ahead off of the pressure that Guma and Delight were able to get with the Lucian Milio. And then, again, it just set up Zeka to completely take over the game, as we see in some of these later fights, Guma kind of trying to soften them up, and then Zeka is going to be heading up from bot side to get on, even though the Kanavi ult doesn't land, and initially looks like, okay, maybe Hans can do something. No, Zeka is already here to get into the fight once again, being able to Kanavi this time, getting the wild growth knock up. The synergy, like you already talked about, Ox, between the stolen Lulu ult and this Jarvan was amazing.
Yeah, it was so good to see, and how decisive they were, because Broken Blade started the TP, and I think G2 were like, hey, if they go in, we can turn this. Before they even got a chance, before the Yasuo even arrived, they were already losing the fight.
Kemarin T1 versus Belgia menang mana? Ya menang Belgia lah anjir.
That did not work out very well.
Tiduran gue barusan anjing.
Guys, we see now 2 times from G2 that they're daring to pick a
Weh,
composition.
kopi, lu berefek gak sih?
Kind of in the first one was very inventive, trying to throw HLE off kilter. In this one, that Broken Blade still goes in
Kepulangan.
because he wants to fight pound for pound.
Lebih ke lu yang bangun sih kayaknya. Jangan tidur mulu.
Ini gue masih dalam ratapan solo ini. The game gets much easier. So I think, I mean, the issue in game 1 and game 2 was literally similar. I think you kind of tried to deal with the bot lanes, but you couldn't.
Aduh, sampai leher gue pegel anjir.
I think to me, even though Broken Blade's throwing these less common matchups as is, it feels like he doesn't miss a beat. It was a tough matchup in game 1, he held up strong. Game 2, never really gave him a way in the 1v1. And I feel like he could pick anything, and he's just going to be able to hold on, match it, or even come out ahead.
It's true. There was a quote from Hansama to Rift.gg about like, well, sometimes when we don't get going, we need a bit of agency in that bot lane, and I feel like, again, that is showing here. I want to get a little bit of a posture check on Skewmon, because one of the things that was invigorating about the reverse sweep versus top esports was the mentality was there, but he's getting lower. So I wonder if after game 3, it's not really going to work out. But listen, hey,
gak penting anjing. Analisis macam apa itu, cowok.
In minute 85 in the World
Orang mah review gameplay Lee Sin-nya ya.
Tiap main Lee Sin selalu loyo gitu, Jing. Masih disuruh Lee Sin.
It was literally the same, you know. I was not expecting the comeback as well, because the game 1 and game 2 looked a little
Tiap main Lee Sin mau di LEC mau di mana begitu, cok, Lee Sin-nya, cok.
Just forget about the game 1 and game 2. Just reset your mindset. They're come for biggest gun, so just think about what you can play better on your hands.
Dipanasin dulu,
What's the thing is that years ago, a lot of people are
Ambil es batu dulu cuy ya, kita tambahkan kopi nih.
Struggled, and it was like, well, he's good at melee champions, maybe a control major too. This year, his pool has been so much wider. Things like Victor, Cassiopeia had great games with him. He's brought out the classics already. He still has so much ready left in the pool.
He absolutely does. It is a big ask that we demand of you, G2, to not have us be embarrassed today. But on the other hand, is it really that when HLE is playing to championship form? Let's see if they close the door and get the win in this next one.
Apanya yang mau dianalisa?
Analisanya Isanya hilang, Jok.
Anal doang, monyong.
G2 continue to walk up. Scuttle Crab plopped on top of Zeka's head. Broken Blade charging the Q. Ease through. Manages to find the last breath. Polymorph onto Zeka. They're getting a bit of space here. Hansama still standing. Ults looking to transcend. Zeka looking to stop it and it's Traxel. The follow-up is there. Hits him with the Dragon's Rage. He's absconding. He's abducting. They finally kill the mid laner.
Jangan berharap represif kalau lawan tim HLE. Guys, Zeka itu punya pepis game of life. The next 3 games, Zeka gonna throw the game just so he can play 5 games.
Zeka itu punya titit.
Zeka itu punya titit.
And you're holding it back.
Mas Teo, mas yang ini mas halu mulu.
Info drama pick.
Gua Momo. Kalau gak ada yang percaya sama G2 berarti gua udah dikubur Momo.
Udah kubur sekarang ya.
Udah boleh sih kayaknya.
Belum saatnya gua dikubur.
Gali
Selama
sendiri ya.
Kev masih punya rambut, aku tidak akan dikubur.
Justru karena masih punya rambut ya, kalau udah botak jago deh.
Benar banget. Listen meet guys.
Aduh. Yuklah, ready. Torime. Necesita tomono torime.
Introducing the simplicity plan, $30 for a single line. Can you hear me now?
Ngantuk nih nonton gitu.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bulls give you wings. Ayo guys, apa yang menarik kita lakukan guys daripada mengantuk ini guys?
Giveaway gue.
Waduh.
Review skin T1.
Main mecha kameleon.
Gas 1 game.
At GoDaddy, we know your website is the center of your online business. Help protect it from online threats with website security. Every GoDaddy plan comes with an SSL certificate that'll protect your customers' sensitive data, along with daily malware scans and a firewall, all of which you can manage from one place. A protected site will also help your search ranking. Get peace of mind for your online business today with GoDaddy.
Tadi gua habis beli domain langsung dikasih iklan domain anjir. Bahas Jeril. Jangan bahas game lain kayaknya cuy. Teman lu Pit.
Saya menang lawan top.
Jeril sama Tuf lagi kena drama.
Lebih seru sih Kertwells.
Emang tuh. Pemain
Tapi
wing
lebih
tip
seru
nih
lagi kalau misalkan
bermasalah
si
tuh.
Kertwells versus Unwalite gak sih nanti di lower.
Pemain wing tip bermasalah. Aduh.
Apa betul akan reverse sweep lagi? Bener banget Karo. Ini adalah bagian dari rencana.
Jadi gimana Jitu Kur? Pulang cepet.
Beres.
Nge-fresh mulu udah browser gue cek. Kenapa ya? Bisa install ulang kok cok.
Apa owner lebih milih Serangga ketimbang Pinda
bosan main Sinjau, Cok. 2 tahun berturut terus Sinjau aja.
Welcome back to MSI 2026, where we're gearing up for Game 3 between Hanwha Life.
Kalau nggak muak 2 tahun main Sinjau aja.
And thus far, it has been Hanwha
Turnamen pick apa ya?
all
Sinjau.
the way.
Main apa ya?
But you know what
Sinjau.
they say about Game 3s?
Yuk, langsung
They're
aja.
just a stepping stone to game number 4,
And
Draco.
that's true. And you know what I've always thought to myself? I've thought that scuttle crab looks delicious. Don't you think, Kanavi? Hey, Kanavi, play Wukong. Go for a scuttle crab. I think that would be a great call. Analytically.
Come
Last
on,
time,
Kanavi, play
when
Wukong.
G2 needed you most, you
I
invoked the
dare
dark
you.
magics. And you
Go
caused,
There's never been a better jungler.
you caused
Sinjaunya udah nggak ada, udah nggak bisa
It
dikasih
starts
tahu.
with Kanavi.
now. Can you get Kanavi to
I don't think there is a caster in this world strong enough. But I could be
Tiba-tiba
wrong. What,
langsung
the
draft
G2?
pick
We're
anjir.
going to need to see a massive
cepet,
step
mau
up in
pulang
level of
casternya.
performance across the board. They have
Yes,
been good.
yeah.
Far between where it has been enough to outmatch HLE. And now as we see Bard locked in for
Kan
Delight,
sama main
we'll see how
Ezreal.
G2 responds.
Yeah, and Bard is by far Delight's most played champion. This is looking good for them.
What's next?
Ezreal
Kan sama
Karma
main
though
Tristana
locked in
mid.
preemptively. You're kind of expecting
Nggak bakal
like, the
di-cancel
Caitlyn
sih
Bard
harusnya,
combination
Project.
to come out here for HLE, but we'll see if they want to.
Yalah, Zeus temu lah, segame lah. Boleh kali sih, temu. Udah menang, bro.
Zeus kayaknya sih bakal main.
Thus far in this fairly short series, but there's no
Temu
reason
lah,
for
segame
them
lah.
to
Boleh
flex
lah.
anything else.
Temu
This is the
lah.
good old true Caitlyn Bard. You get your
Pick temu segame.
trap combinations or your
Temu
cosmic
segame menang boleh sih.
pure meta here.
Gitunya langsung.
Cassio is still up, so they can slam a Cassio into it.
Langsung selebrasi anjir.
I mean, they are facing the Ezreal Karma poke, so maybe they don't want to do it early. They just hover first instead, and they're not going to jump on that.
Napiri.
Go with an Nefiri instead, so.
And Nefiri's such an annoying jungler, especially when your lanes are already set up to be strong. And,
Kenapa lu begitu, Kor? Biarin bersih bawahnya, cuy.
With the power, that call of the pack, that intangibility, it's infuriating.
Wukong.
Even if you try and use your dark magic of making the jungler tower dive for a scuttle crab, Nefiri is the best tower diving jungler there is.
Yeah,
she can just go.
She just gets to leave.
Untargetable anyway.
She just picks up the kids and walks out.
That's 5-head here from Khodam.
Good. He's avoided the dark magic. I've been taken into account, Kobe. I feel so honored.
Yeah, he's able to dodge you.
Okay, so Wukong here, obviously fantastic team fighting pick. The armor as well from that stone skin passive, getting double value from the Caitlyn as well as the Nefiri. But it might need a bit of time. And one thing we heard the devs talk about was wanting that individual agency, especially for the G2 bottom lane, something Hans had brought up before. This 2v2, not a ton of agency in terms of CC playmaking, but if they play it clean enough, if they play it well enough, it is certainly powerful.
Yeah, I mean, you have to hit your poke damage with Ezreal Karma. That is literally the whole script. You have to hit your poke, and then things will go well. I like this band though. Again, whenever we see the Wukong, we are always talking about, are you going to let through the any
Kapan
combination?
Nefiri masuk WR? Belum ada kabar sih.
Basically playing by the book here. Nice band from them. Take that away. Don't give the playmaking to G2 that they want. Meanwhile,
Bentar lagi,
similar
Pet.
bands here for G2, second round.
Udah nyentuh itu nggak sih yang katanya harus berapa champion rilis dulu baru jadi gabeta.
Zeka, Akali, kind of the old school comfort pick. Victor, the
Rilis semua kali.
more refined Zeka. the broader
Valkyrie
champion
katanya siapa
pool.
mau digabung sama lo.
So what is the final ban going to be here from HLE?
Untuk pembantaian.
Tricky thing. Of course, last pick is going to go to G2 on the red side here, so can counter pick the top
Cassio
lane
is
if
making
they
it
want.
so deep here. So they really are trying to use like somebody's got a good Cassio answer
Leblanc dah.
counter here prepped.
Jujur
Well, we can
Leblanc.
feel pretty confident, again, if we kind of reverse engineer that first game pick ban phase where we saw the rel ban, that these two teams have scrimmed against each other.
Let's see what it is. So this is what I've been waiting for. You know, they're hovering, they're giving you a little taunting, and now the Cassio does get locked in. So what is it, Zeka? I mean, you do have, you know, Bard already. Caitlyn Bard from your bottom lane already is like kind of good because you have some range and you have the Bard ultimate, of course, to try and pressure the Cassio. But what is the actual Zeka pick gonna be? Delay us a little bit longer. And looks like the standard rumble here.
Rumble.
Blind Rumble obviously pairs nicely with the long range of the Bard. Nice to have that AoE slow to kick team fights off. from the equalizer.
They really do need some more CC, I feel like, here for HLE to bring it all together.
Aduh, diajarin
Dipakai mau ditutor, Cok.
Diajarin, bro.
Bro,
Aduh,
this
malu,
how you play Liblang, bro.
Cream hit all of his Noxious Blasts, and they also critically were roaming mid with jungle and support right behind him. So we're going to get that Twisted Fate top answer again into the Rumble. People also have been critical when this does not work out, and the on-hit Twisted Fate does not work out. That could be
bro.
Ini kom apa, bro? Di TikTok juga gak ada, anjing.
LeBlanc,
Bro, mau diajarin, bro.
and again, jungle and support determines so
Gini loh, Dek. Lain kali kalau ketemu tes, dia Casio, kamu LeBlanc.
That it is.
Ini di TikTok juga gak ada, Cok. Matchup TF Rumble Gear.
Said than done. Maybe the gold card on LeBlanc in later points, but you can see what happens if HLE get ahead. The poke from this LeBlanc, the Nefiri follow-up.
And again, it's so much about how you can play around it, because the LeBlanc needs more to be able to play off of her threat. If you're going in and you have your support hovering behind you as the Casio, it gives you the confidence you can stand your ground, you hit your Noxious Blast.
Anak-anak sekarang kalian di dalam dulu ya. Jangan ada yang keluar.
But if your LeBlanc has the early visitor,
Turunkan Kuro 3 periode. Mau ngapain gue?
you land the chain, you make sure you're going to get the setup for the people.
Gue tidak ingin menjadi.
You try
Kok mukanya mirip?
Try and leverage it. It is dangerous. It is volatile. So let's.
Iwan itu ya?
And here we go. This is what we were talking about in the previous game. Send your mid laner down bottom to try and get the priority here, and it remains true with the Kate.
Apa itu anjir?
This too. So Zeka does come down for that level 1. They sweep. They use it as bait. Delight gonna wrap around. Here it comes.
Has all this extra movement speed as well as the level 1. The passive on top of the Q. Whiffs the Q. Nice sidestep from LeBron. Hansama winning the trade with Guma as well. So LeBron down in HP overall, but with the
Guma is wow.
G2 do a fantastic job of getting value there, and now it's Caps.
Cap is
This is a bit bold.
Yo, LeBron has moves, man. That was going to be scary. I was wondering, too, if Zeka was going to early flash, but he didn't want to use his summoner spell for bottom lane.
Toss going down, though. As good as that initial trade was, Hans taking a big chunk there.
But yeah, because Zeka does not want to use his flash, the early flash with his chain. And then Lobrov is able to sidestep there on Delight, so it does not get the Cosmic Binding into the wall. They do escape, and honestly, they were fine afterwards. So Zeka having to walk back to lane now. Another Noxious Blast does land from Caps. Good start for him.
Some poke landing here in the bottom lane, but some of these Mystic shots also going wide means Delight and Guma having a decent time.
Langsung melayat nggak sih bang habis ini? 3-0 jelas ini.
Level 2 spike.
Nggak tahu ya gue bakal melayat atau enggak ya hari ini ya. Karena jatah mabarnya udah habis cuy.
Top lane is the only lane where I think no one will die.
Apa?
I think every other lane, I don't even know if the jungler needs to get involved.
Nah itu dia.
No. Cash recurs when it's good for my region, not when it's good for HLE. They don't need any more help.
Hey, what do you mean? BB could be the one getting the kill.
That's true.
Wait, bottom line, we have both junglers.
Skewmon going in on the Kanavi. Flash out stun on Hansama. Guma potentially in trouble. Call the pack already burned by Kanavi. He's forced to back away.
And good read from Skewmon there. Honestly, he matches it for the 3 matches it on bottom side. And then to their benefit, again, G2 holding strong in the beginning stages, despite HLE trying to do the mid laner through bot level 1, trying to do the 3 camp gank. Good reads, good responses so far from G2.
Stable early game thus far. It is 2 minutes in, but we're a little traumatized from the last 2 games. We're just kind of ready for anyone to go down at any moment.
Sometimes you get beat so hard in the previous game, it sticks with you a little.
It does. It carries over. Normally we get to talk about it positively. Like we're coming off a game where you're so fed, you go in the next game and you overestimate. But not the case this time around. As Skewmon spots out Kanavi. Once again, tracked well. Kanavi dropping his own blue buff, it looks like, to come fight for the crab here.
Going to give the presence because his mid laner's got to go pick up that wave. He knows Zeka needs to get back to the minions. So Kanavi will go back to his jungle, give up the crab to Skewmon. And Zeka went for the Dark Seal. So he's double ring
Malas
here for the LeBlanc. He wants to get that kill. Again, you got to play off the pressure here with
Sama
LeBlanc.
member aja, Kur.
And you're going to need jungler or support
Malas
as well
sama
to go
member.
do it. And then your rewards will be even bigger now. Start to stack up your Dark Seal. See, though, can they actually get some presence on bottom lane in order to unlock the light?
Able to get a bit of a push here. Stun connects. Guma not quite close enough to drop an immediate trap. Not sure if he has a charge either.
Dragon Lain yang lagi meta dulu WR apa aja?
Relatively evened out after the
Banyak,
initial
Samira.
scramble there. G2 with a small gold lead.
Bisa semua lah setelah inilah.
Getting closer and closer.
Bot grab. Should be his for the taking. His mid laner now has to push. Oh, trading very heavily down there, though.
Aggression here. Really want to stop this wave from going in as Hansama shifts forward. Flash. Not ideal, but that's a blinking health bar on Delight. The follow-up just isn't there. But Skewmon moving down, has a flash of his own. Fakes that he's going to go in on the clone. Stepping on the trap from LeBron, not going to cost him. Call the pack might, though. Kanavi goes in, looking to land both the daggers. First blood to the side of HLE. The stun landing because he uses the clone. Delight. Able to lock them up. So follow-up, and now it's Hansama. Flash forward from Guma. Doesn't quite have the range. Such a mess for G2. So close to finding those kills, but it's Kanavi.
Loh, kok LeBlancnya belum mati, Mas?
Yeah, the tasty cupcake.
Beda ini.
Dracos.
Beda ya, diajarin.
Too much for LeBron. He walks in, they chase too far, and Kanavi says, not on my watch.
Zayas in the top lane battling Broken Blade holding onto a gold lead, mostly because the passive, he's just counterfeiting a bit of money up there, but now it's Zeka first on the roam. Bot lane,
Gak ada
who were able to
pesipil
get that
kemarin,
push out,
jir.
deny some CS away from Hansama, and while G2 had those small gold leads,
Itu rahasia, cuy.
didn't mean much, and now it's HLE who are really starting to take control in a lot of these lanes.
Love how Kanavi did it, too. You know, he goes point blank on him as that could have been a little bit more explosive because we did have a support roam timer, and LeBron was here. He's kind of hoping that Zeka was going to overcommit to that, but
Caps getting a bit of support. Mantra shield there.
He had used the miasma on the previous one, so didn't have it here for the chase down, but now that Delight is here as well to even the numbers.
Dropping off a couple of health packs as well, which only makes the mid lane matchup that much harder. Miasma this time around means that Zeka can't fully commit, but as you've highlighted, Zeka really aware of that Miasma cooldown, not fully committing until he can kind of get that cooldown out.
Still, though, I feel, you know, if you don't have the extra pressure, like Caps is doing well in CS. He's earned his CS lead here on the Casio, and he's constantly trading, constantly pushing out. Yeah, he hasn't gotten like the dream, you know, scenario like Cream did when he played the opposite side of the matchup. With his jungle and support there and actually getting the kill. But still, with the early CS lead for the Casio, and the vision is key around that mid lane. You know, constantly threatening the roam between this.
Mau kemana Bang Uma?
Still, the magical journey just
kesana Bang. Mau pulang.
trying to get a generate a bigger advantage
Nggak
here.
boleh.
Multiple times now, HLE's bottom lane has had those blinking health bars, but G2 just haven't been able to finish that kill as there's Navi showing some presence. And every time it feels like it's calm. There's a fist fight starting as Zeka goes back in to trade on Caps. Oh my gosh. So much damage. Has access to the Mimic, making those trades that much easier.
Yeah. You're always wondering, how long is Caps going to hold his ultimate? It's that mind game. Going in for the trade, turning your back.
Ulti in the top lane, coming in from Kanavi though.
Kenapa ke yang itu kuningnya, Cok?
Kumda dulu ya.
Anjing.
Kanavi.
Oh, diajarin, bro.
Bawahnya kena solo kill, cuy.
That was a solo bolo, I believe. Was it?
Oh gitu, caranya main LeBlanc, cuy.
Kobe, we're gonna have to get a replay.
Kayaknya Zeka the best deh.
He was getting low.
The best LeBlanc in the world.
How are you gonna hold the ultimate?
Zeka justru bermain, Zeka bagus karena dia melawan the best LeBlanc in the
Time to
world.
turn his back for that ulti because the ignite is on and Caps is burning down.
Berani-berani dia main LeBlanc di depan.
It felt stable for the first 6 minutes, but now that kill in the bottom lane from Kanavi, full confidence to flash into LeBron's face. No room to dodge that crucial Q. Now he's ahead of the clock. Now he's able to dive top lane, drop tower aggro, just like you said. The nightmare champion to be playing against such a good
3-0 kah?
diver in the form of
Kayaknya
this
sih ya.
Furious. Caps trying to hold on in the 1v1, but Zeka feels
Gak nangis gua.
to go for those easy trades.
Yeah, Kanavi is just king, man. Play after play. Meanwhile, Caps getting solo killed on the opposite side of the matchup this time around is also going to add just extra insult onto that one. Zeka's able to get it. Kanavi is getting invaded by the support room, of course. They do have a Twisted Fate top as well.
Tentu saja.
Blade stepping up, gold card. All the pack used just to stop the stun going in.
How many turret plates are you losing for this? Because that Caitlyn is wailing on the tower.
And we've been here before. We've seen it, I think, in the first game of this series and the first 2 games of the top esports series. G2 clearly making moves on the map, but because they're at such a deficit, it's just costing them more than they're gaining.
Certainly is. Broken Blade also suffering in CS with his counter pick into the Rumble. Ultimate popped. Go to bottom lane. Broken Blade uses it to go try and collect that wave. Catch up in those numbers, but look at that. Guma sticks around on bottom side with the Twisted Fate arrival. Caitlyn lying in wait. And they're pinging assist pings down there too. They've got Bard.
Oh, here come the boys. They know no flash, no
look
exhaust.
At the mini-map. Bottom lane, bottom lane.
That's a Voltaic Cyclo Sword. They're going to give the kill to Guma, but Kanavi's there just in case. G2 running out of space to play in their individual lanes.
Ini kayak
Broken Blade
mereka
0-2.
pas grafik
Once
lupa deh
again,
guys.
the dive top lane into the immediate
Kita
follow-up
akan main
punish. He had to
PF lawan
burn
Leblanc.
subs to
Bentar,
survive or hope to
Kasiopianya
survive.
di mana?
But when he goes down anyway, just makes the follow-up dive that much easier.
Ada sedikit.
Now the tower taken out of the equation. Kanavi, remember, incredibly.
Nice tune dong. Itu dia. Big shutdown. Big.
G2 with the tower empowering
shutdown.
them, are at least able to grab that shutdown. Crucially, going to caps as he's able to complete now the Rod of Ages.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot sent. And even while they turned off the tower, Kanavi uses
Masih mau dikejar ini.
extra damage. He goes in and Caps hits him with the ulti. At least for G2, you get yourself a counter kill there.
And I think that's the most of a curse I'm going to get this game, Kobe. We were just praising him. He goes in for an aggressive dive, and Bill manages to make the most of it. 2-1-2 the score for Kanavi. Caps getting the kill back is nice, but Broken Blade, you know, 5 seconds is all you got once you lock that gold card in. An immediate engage comes in from Zeka. One more auto just eats the stun and takes Broken Blade's life.
Zeka is on one, man.
Mas Kedril udah ngamuk mas liat effort mas. Gimana mas?
Aman aja. Kedril is a fraud.
Yes, he has.
Broken Blade is kind of homeless at the moment.
That he is.
Broken Blade couldn't handle the. Well, we got an actual fight on our screen.
Potentially, Kanavi is still very squishy despite having the Voltaic Cyclo Sword. Cumon flash in, immediate Cyclone. Good reaction coming out from Kanavi.
Ini dia.
Cumon just can't get anything. Instead, turning back onto Gumushi. One more stack of the Cyclone. Spinning as fast as he can towards that Caitlyn.
Itu dia.
Itu dia. Let's go.
Satu aja.
Apa
yang itu dia tuh? Itu dia banget tuh kayak dia anjir.
Let's go G2.
Going forward, taking whatever they want from G2. Yeah, and HLE blocked the Q
Itu dia banget.
well, so the flash forward is futile from G2. HLE are just cleaning up this series. 5,000 gold the lead now. It's insane. As we were saying, Broken Blade got run out of top lane, then died bottom lane, then died mid lane, now back to top lane. Well, he's already in a deficit versus Zeus.
And they want to keep this world tour going. Wherever he goes, they're going to kill him. They know how vulnerable this TF is. He's so far behind. Gold card is his only defensive tool. The second it's gone, they pounce. For the rest of G2 this time, at least here to cover.
Yeah, he has to flash.
And now for the next 5 minutes, he's once again vulnerable. Zeka just keeps walking in. Waits to see him lock a card. Broken Blade forced to recall. Remember, Guma has a 2,000 individual gold lead, a completed item, and an extra BF sword on top
Zeus
of
wants
boost
the Ezreal
2.
kill. Look at him. He's going down for the Ezreal kill bot lane.
Zeus going for the 1v1, looking to burn down Hansama. Electro Arbor hitting overheat. Hansama forced to flash away. It's a split fight, though. Zeus quick to finish on Hansama as we turn
Masih diliatin gak deh, tenang.
Delight finds the disengage. Broken Blade finally gets here. Kanavi.
Yeah.
Not sure if he has the call of the pack.
Yeah.
Benar banget.
Yeah.
Benar sekali.
Yeah.
Langsung idang.
Ya, ya, ya.
Benar sekali. Itu dia.
Ya.
Itu dia.
Ya.
Anjir.
Masih saya lihat. Ya, ya.
Aduh.
Triple kill habis ini Capsule. Yeay.
Gila Caps triple kill coy.
Itu dia.
Salah logonya guys. Salah logonya anjir.
Itu dia.
Harusnya bukan logo Caitlyn tadi
Also
tuh.
pushing top, they're
Cassiopeia
also
itu.
pushing bottom.
Itu dia.
HLE owns Summoner's Rift.
That they do. It starts well. They get the initial call of the pack cooldown, but they're too far behind. This play just fizzles in front of them.
Sudah mencium aroma lower breaker.
Look at these traps in the brush. He goes back in. That is
tercium seperti bau kekalahan.
and Konami goes into the job.
Iya, Cok.
Then also the recipient of a headshot.
Lawan
And Guma
Surya nangis, ini
is
Maji.
able to gun him down. Caps as well. He does get the magical journey to help for this one too. Delight sets him up. One more auto. Get the extra.
And there is Fed. There is Monster Fed. And there is whatever the hell you want to call Guma Yushi on Caitlyn right now.
Well, he doesn't have his infinity.
Sengaja kalahnya sama HLE.
But Hansama doesn't have anything completed yet.
Yes.
Siapa yang gak kalah sama
He's
Hanwala?
got the
Gimana aja
IKEA
kalah, Ge?
special here. Just parts. Oh, there we go.
I got it.
He got the instructions, put it together.
Gimana
Trinity
jadi
Force
bantai
done.
sama Hanwala?
No, that's kind of like having 3 items, if you think about it. You want to put some fake silver lining on those clouds as mid lane tower going to fall. And Hansama does do damage. You can see the Mystic shots are connecting, but finishing a kill is just a different story. And credit to HLE, right? Oh, hold that
Itu
thought.
dia.
Delight.
Itu dia.
Itu dia.
Itu
As well. Nice shot.
Itu dia. Itu dia.
Not going to be necessary. Abyss
Ya,
Itu.
uji apa Hansama mau
Dia.
nyolong, mau nyolong.
Itu.
Zeka goes in to kill him. G2 just have no
Pulang abis ini lower bracket.
Itu dia kayak deh.
Jujur jagoan cap sih labelangnya.
I can't challenge. For the love of God, G2, hold on for 2 minutes, please. The meme cannot get worse than it was that 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 15 minutes, 24 seconds.
We have to make it 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then everything is fine.
16:47, you're telling
Apakah
me?
itu dia?
Kobe, don't wish that. Don't put that juju on me, man.
So, I will say, I feel it is so much harder to end games with turret plates, though. The towers are really hard to, like, one-shot now.
Pas banget.
I think you're
Udah mau
probably
beres
okay.
gimana?
It's fine.
The balance team
Pulang guys.
As they
back.
do.
Ring kita.
The balance team cannot nerf
The
Zeus.
Camling.
They have nerf Rumble.
Camling ya.
Go in, gold
Au
card.
au 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 au.
Ini dia. Itu dia.
Barely surviving the pick for G2. What will it
PS
cost them on the
metal
other side of the map?
tempo,
HLE descending on mid lane. Kanabi, ulti not there yet, but he's got a Rift Herald in his back pocket. More than happy to use it to break down that mid lane tier 2. Flash out from Lebrov. Skewmon retreating. True Shot Barrage hits the camp, but tower finally going to fall, and Broken Blade still hasn't had a chance to recall.
And production brings up the gold graph to show you how this huge kill on Zeus cuts the gold lead down to 9,000.
You also notice from that this is the most dominant game, I think, in the series thus far, which I didn't think was possible after how dominant Game 2 was, but here we are, HLE. There is a reason they are amongst the tournament favorites. And while optimism for G2 was there to be the team that could contest, that could fight their way in the top 4, today is clearly not their day. It's the upper bracket. They're not eliminated if they lose here, but definitely going to be sent back to the drawing board, and we'll need to find a massive level up or a new strategy to support them in the next series, because HLE are playing comfort, they're playing old greatest hits, they're playing whatever they want, and they're looking just as good no matter what the options have been.
Hey, look at that first 5 minutes, though.
Ha! Yeah, why didn't we run the graphic then, production? How about, give me a little, oh my gosh, she's almost dead. Hansama,
Wis
this
diumpetin
is the
dulu cuy
nightmare of
kadeanya.
LeBlanc. She gets
Terlalu
ahead, she breaks your
sakit.
mid tower, and suddenly she is a
Adegan
poke
dewasa.
mage. And if she doesn't W back, she's an assassin, and that's really the only distinction.
Yeah, the thing is, they actually do have a point-and-click gold card, but it's not easy to time, right? So technically, it's point-and-click, but first you have to pick the card, you know, you
gotta lock it in.
Gotta go through some steps, and also the one holding it is very poor and not able to purchase a rapid-fire cannon.
Nah, that he is. He is trying to find a home in the top lane, but when Zeus is done farming the Krugs, just getting every little advantage he can, he may try to shut down Broken Blade, but he's just gonna opt to recall, no need to overextend. HLE with this kind of advantage, you don't really need to force. Just
but you can because it's fun.
But you can because it's fun, and they might, because that's a 7-stack Magi's on Zeka. It's fun.
Itu dia combo TikTok.
Brother Delight, not enough to save LeBron.
Tetap mati anjir.
Oh bisa di cancel itunya.
Bisa. Kiri kalau lagi ulti bisa di cancel.
Cannot get the snake body in front of that bullet in time. Hoping to take down Kanavi, but stepping into 3 members of HLE who flash on him. Instant Mikhails to stop the CC from coming through. Hanzama now retreating, and they're just getting run down. G2 zoned away, forced back. That's before Guma even started auto-attacking. You can see a third of Hanzama's HP just disappears in the blink of an eye.
Again, though, those towers, they make them sturdy now, okay? So it takes a lot of games nowadays. You're going to make it to 20 minutes, buddy.
Is that a
Caitlyn nggak ke knockback, Mas?
That's the question. 13 stacks now for Zeka. I think he wants
Tapi berhenti ultinya.
wants to max out.
Enggak berhenti, Mas.
Kanavi can go and target.
Batu, ayo bikin custom room as.
Gua baru main kemarin colon Caitlyn.
He auto to Scryer's Bloom while he was running.
That was terrible, but given how hard of a day it has been, I'm not going to die on that hill. You know what?
Good.
He gets that one.
All good.
Pakai trap.
So, it's times like these where
Kalau trap iya, kalau knockback enggak asu.
killing a single
Ke
individual.
belakang dulu, ke belakang.
Ideally, you know, you'd love to kill Guma to get
Bodoh.
the bounty. Well, never mind. We're under
Caps is
attack.
the goal. Caps is the individual.
Bangun.
Lockup is there. He's about to fall. LeBron getting lower and lower. Broken Blade is finally here, but it's a red card. He's hoping we can play football rules. He can get him kicked off the rift, but he absolutely cannot. They've exhausted Kanavi. LeBron just barely able to kind of step up and tank that one. The Caitlyn damage is continuing to get higher and higher.
Yeah, the Guma autos on Broken Blade were brutal there.
I'm just saying we swapped the football rules. He hit you with the red card. Please leave the rift. We're swapping now. Please leave. We've swapped the refs. Please tell him.
Hey,
okay.
Fight victory though. Every comeback starts with a single step.
Kobe,
and it could be the red buff steal or secure. It's because it was on your side.
Emang boleh kekerasan seperti ini ditayangkan di YouTube, Dek?
And guys, let's be clear here. I'm an EU rep. I love this G2 team, but you just can't dance around this. There is no storyline. There is nothing we can say that will make this any less one-sided. Nice engage coming in for HLE. Bit of a stop juke coming out. No, they just already.
Langsung saja trofi MSI ke HLE. Masih ada T1, masih jauh, Jir.
I was like, ooh, he got him. He got him with the stop juke. No, he's just already dead. Oh my gosh, Gumayushi.
So, how far, I mean, okay, you already talked about HLE and BLG are the big 2 tournament favorites. HLE, they're currently still undefeated at the tournament, and they have just steamrolled over this tournament thus far. Of course, we'll definitely have to wait and see how it progresses, but Baron's going to go down as is.
Langsung diulti sama Zeus. Holy shit.
Mikhail's there. Caps running. Zeka chasing. Distortion in. A little bit more damage. As Caps does what he can to fire back. The gold lead continues to grow. Red Bull Baron power play. Already big and only going to get bigger. 13,000 gold advantage.
Also remember,
Mudah
series. Yes.
Iyalah.
I do want to go back
Mudah
to
itu.
because there was discussion online when Team Liquid got smashed by T1. And Team Liquid released a video, during the game where Spawn was talking to his team after game 2, and he was trying to keep their mental stable and their trust in their teammates. Sometimes Western teams are going to get smashed by an LCK team, especially one as good as this. And it is important for the length of a tournament to continue to trust your team and not let it break you. Okay, so this is not an elimination series. You still have tournament left to play. Although you probably don't have much of this series left to play.
Probably not. Ulti on Hanzama starting to walk away. Ace in the hole, body blocked by Skewmon. Broken Blade has a gold card this time. Yellow, hoping to take him out of this particular play. Oh, the Coinbase gold grind. Yes, thank you. One to review. Shout out to Coinbase, obviously. Much love to our sponsors, but poorly timed. We know we're getting just completely, absolutely Goomba stomped. Capsized up the ulti. Q
Itu dia.
Nah, itu dia.
Terima kasih kepada G2 telah membuat pertandingan ini sangat easy. Lawan siapa G2 di bawah kayak deh?
is Kanavi's going to survive that true shot barrage.
Apa? T1 ya?
Katanya T1 lawan Furia anjir.
The addition of whatever the heck this is Broken Blade is also
Oh
going
ya, Tion Furia. Kita ketemunya sama
Too good.
yang menang lawan itu.
Okay, not done.
Zeka still
Oh.
living.
T1 sih sama aja anjir.
Iya lawan T1 anjir.
Another.
Hey, harus genu.
Cut the lead down to 14,000.
Puri. Sulit.
That's my region! Anyway, Kobe, I want to go back to your point because I think it is a valid one, and I don't want to make too light of this, but there's not. I also don't want to treat this as the most serious thing because G2, they're pretty donezo. I think we've seen before teams when they lose a series, the tournament is over for them. They might play more games, but you never get to see that team in that peak form again. Some people will argue that that's what happened to top esports, and I hope for the sake of G2 that this is not the end of their tournament. This is not the end of them playing at their best level. Even if we don't get to see that best level here, because obviously they're down 14,000 gold. The tower's taken out of the equation. HLE caused binding. There's on a rampage. Caps hoping to
Ini
get
bagian
another
dari rencana cuy.
kill. Yushi running.
This is
With a
part of the
gold
plan.
card. Can we get one more kill?
Oh my God! My God!
Ini mah ngumpulin info aja. Mereka gak niat menang, nanti lor bracket bantai-bantai. Seriusan, Didi.
That is a surface
Serius banget kah itu?
Yushi's hands. He has taken people out. Okay, on top against one back. A little bit of panacea for the pain that HLE have caused. HLE remain undefeated.
Jam berapa sekarang, Mas?
Ya, siap-siap G2 untuk melawan T1 di lower bracket ya. Sudah boleh serius sih kalau kata gue sih.
Who will be the first to take a single game off of HLE?
Aduh 3-0 cuy.
Jam 4 cuy. Gila. Masih belum bangun ya?
They are not out of this tournament yet, but there was a gap this series. It was a massive gap.
Monyong, bangun gua.
Reminding us how incredibly dominant they can be. Let's send it over to the analyst desk now.
Udah jam berapa ini, Mas? Dari pagi tidur mulu.
HLE take a bow and they've absolutely deserved it. 6-0 so far. You speak of a gap, I speak of a Mariana trench. It was absolutely huge. I think this was one of the biggest reality checks I've seen for a team in a very, very long time. HLE had to defend LCK's honor with it. They had to beat G2.
Nah, Mas, duluan Mas. Sakit mata saya Mas. Duluan ya. Thank you.
Oke, Pet. Oke, Tete, kayaknya gue juga cuy udah pengen berak sini, Jer. Kayaknya nanti malam kita nggak ada melayar deh cuy. Kayak libur dulu melayar hari ini ya. Jadi thank you semuanya sudah nonton guys. Thank you yang sudah like, thank you sudah subscribe, thank you sudah donate, thank you sudah support chat, thank you sudah bekerja. Kita ketemu lagi di live atau
A little bit more time to talk about the G2 side of things in a bit, but Ox first, let's sing the praises of HLE. Where would you like to start?
I want to look at Jaket because he had a phenomenal game.
Mana ini tombol N?